He's got.
Motion to adjourn?
No, not till we take our numbers all the way back to where they were before.
I
know.
Okay, we up? Okay. It is Thursday, December 7, 2017. Let's call a meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, minutes and reports received and filed.
None.
What have you been doing for the last day?
I did them all Tuesday.
Do we want to go through our, no, okay. And you're going to do KWAS tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. I got to do it Saturday. Hal Dooley cornered me at that
I'm gonna
polar
probably
bear
go-
plunge, so.
I'll probably go to that port study thing tomorrow. I think I can make it.
I'm gonna have Melody post it.
Okay, commission comments, bids and contracts, unfinished business. We're moving right along. New business, accounts payable review.
There is one invoice out there that we talked about the other day, the county clerk and the thing. We were going to transfer money out of the election expense and put it into office supplies, and then they'd have enough money to pay for that if you guys want to. Then we can approve that accounts payable that is out there.
I think that's probably where it needs to come from. Yeah. Okay.
What was that?
Those election, got a kiosk or whatever,
It's coming out of where?
taken out of,
Office supplies. But in turn, that transfer would have to be done.
So you got the sales tax?
Yep,
Is that by 2%? Is that
For the
total
year?
For the whole year?
for the whole year. December was quite higher, but, so maybe just the timing always. Yeah.
So it was higher? You just email that?
Yes.
Yeah.
oh, okay, I missed
It's
it.
up 14%. December?
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Score one for Helcher.
So I guess it was probably.
The quarterly stuff from the,
That's.
Yeah.
I told you.
That's all we need to make his head bigger.
Oh, God.
Oh, y'all don't have to help with that. I got
And then
that.
it's football.
Oh, they're catching up. I'm coming back down to earth on that one. I just can't pick the Cowboys to win. It's hurting me right now. They
Now
actually won
you're
a couple
tied for
games.
first, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, okay. Sign your title for 20-ton pull-behind trailer.
Something we sold on Gov Deals a while back that we had to do some work to get the title for. Our portion of the sale was $1,511.64.
Is that thing a piece of junk or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
One man's
A
trash.
1997, that's a good vintage,
Vintage year?
yeah.
Do you think that we got our money's worth out of it, or
Yeah. We did.
axles were shot too, or?
Well, the axles probably wasn't just too bad. It was way too lightweight. And I don't know, it never has been much of a trailer.
Okay. I move that we sign the surplus title.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Can we go back to accounts payable?
Yes.
No, you want to approve that?
Yes, please.
We haven't signed this yet.
Oh, well, okay.
Okay.
You sign that, and then I'll make a motion to approve it.
So that's what we talked about yesterday,
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still used for elections.
Yeah, it is.
It is, but
Had-
the election
about
expense
three-
line is for the
Nope,
items
Zoom.
you reimbursed.
Rent it back.
They can.
Why not? How do you bill for anything else that we use for it?
Don't go nowhere without that.
I'll take the copy, just send her to the.
I don't understand that one.
So just an approval of accounts payable, that's all I need.
What do you just need a copy of
I
that?
move that we approve accounts payable.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We have any other issues before we go into the in-house budget?
Y'all been getting all the emails about budget coming down?
Yes. Yeah, been flooding my email.
I wish they would put something in the subject head so we do.
Don't have
Not
to
even have
open
to
it up
look at-
and look at everyone.
Yeah, I mean, some of them do, some don't.
I've never met some of these people, but I just,
I didn't know if there's any, if they catch your eye or something. I've been browsing through them real quick and I don't know.
no, and Jill says she
Probably need to have Jill just kind of update us on
She
what's
kind
going
of,
on.
she goes through them, so.
Something may not catch her eye that's important, it might be important to us.
I just noticed there was one in there about they had to change to the collector's fees or something. And if she can just bring it down to like layman's terms, because you got sections of subsection, subdivision, subsection 3 under blah, blah, blah. And
We gotta ask her
Talks in
next
circles.
week to,
Just give us a weekly update. That'd be good.
What our superintendent does, goes through all of them in a spreadsheet, whether it affects our school district.
Okay, explain what this sentence means. Should this amount be insufficient or unavailable to meet the shortfall, the Director of the Department of Revenue shall set a new requisite amount to determine a qualified county under subdivision 1 of this subsection other than $55,000, which reflects the revenue collected under subdivision of subsection 1 of this section, in addition to 33% of the excess fund balance. Yeah, that's what we're passing. If they don't have enough money, then
Or just that she forwarded that one to the collector's office to, help her out or forward that to.
this is something they added to the law, so apparently somewhere along the line, something wasn't drawn out in clear enough terms for
so that
somebody.
makes it clearer.
Yes, that cleared it up. All right, I'm done. I'm on my little soapbox on that one.
Here,
Delete.
All right.
Okay, it's however you guys want to approach the budget. There's a couple things that I'll just make you aware of that I've kind of changed in the budget, the workers' comp that you guys approved the other day. I did have to add to the budget, to general fund alone, about $53,000 more.
For our insurance.
Yes, for workers' comp.
Okay.
Okay? What I do is then bill each department after the audit's over. But the $53,000 will get us to be able to pay the whole workers' comp, hopefully next year.
Okay.
Because like this year, I'm paying 2 months of next year.
Right.
So it's kind of a guesstimate. We also got, it's on the agenda for next week, the liability coverage and the property coverage. Unfortunately, not good news there either. Both of them are going up. Majority of it's due to liability, HR practices, MOPERM's whole book of business has gone up there, and in law enforcement. Law enforcement alone, for us, will be going up like 18,000, 19,000.
ooh, so what is the total?
The total that I had to add there just to general fund is 32,000. I did add the 18,000, almost 19,000 to public, to law enforcement. But I did change a lot of different accounts within general fund because we spread that vehicle cost out per department. And the same with EMS. Actually, EMS I had to increase like 4,000, 3,600, so So you'll see that when you go through the budget. Now, we could start on capital, we could just start from the beginning of the book, we could start from when the people came in here and asked for a request, whatever you guys would like to do.
from fund to fund.
Right?
And Greg was gonna come in about 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
If we had any questions
he's
about
got a
that.
doctor's
So we can
appointment.
wait.
Greg Camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I need to be here?
No?
I didn't know if I needed to be here or not.
No, we
Think so.
already got $4,000, you know, so, yeah, you probably better run like,
I can live on that for the week.
No, I took 4,000.
yeah, she
Oh,
took.
Yeah,
she took-
yeah. She added 4,000 in expense.
So what is the first budget?
It's us.
All right, well, here,
Page 25.
here's where I'm at. It's pretty simple for me. I say we deny every request that came in for additional expense. We cut expenditures by a percentage, and we use the offset in the revenue there to give her more raises.
Did I just say that to you this morning? I said, can we just go back and erase anything, any request that we don't have to have? I mean, there's a bunch of wants in there, but I don't think there was anything that anybody actually needs to function or to,
Well, I mean.
Provide a better service
yeah,
necessarily.
I agree. There's a lot of wants, but I think people can tighten their belts. And in my opinion, we can throw it back at the departments and say, you can have this for expenses or you can have this for raises. Did you say that this morning too?
yeah. I was in there telling Debbie, I said, well, what did we actually have to have in here? What do we need to function? And, because I'd rather, that was the common theme every time anybody came up here, is we need to take care of our employees, we need to get some raises. And I agree with that totally.
Man, that makes this whole process pretty simple until it comes down to capital expenditures.
Just go. Yeah, just go.
But then Debbie went and raised our insurance on us.
Well, so I'm gonna have her load general fund, we'll start with general, and back out the cash forward and the contingency, and
Okay.
we'll see, you know, revenue coming in 18 versus expenditures going out in 18.
Just zero it out.
Yep. It's gonna look a little shocking at first because of the 1.5 for the health department. So we wanna back that out and not consider that too at this point, because it's actually spent down of reserves.
Right, yeah, I think we back that out too.
So back that one out too, Debbie, it's right before the contingency expense.
I mean, that's just income over expense.
Right. Your orange color makes it hard to read.
How do you change that? I forget.
I don't remember either.
I got one other thing that I'd like to do too. I'd like to take the 911 and pay for it all through the emergency services fund. I'd like to pay for the reverse 911 through the emergency services fund. And I'd like to either charge a fee, an admin fee to the sheriff for the $140,000 that we still operate. But I think that frees up a little money in the law enforcement fund, but it also frees up money in GR because we're not paying for that $140,000 that's generating $1.3 million for him. So it's like 199 and 18 and 911 and reverse 911. That comes out of his as an expense, but 140 goes back in.
So the 140 going back in is for,
60%.
Pre-trial release.
okay. And then 199 and 18 would come out and go to emergency services.
Yep.
All of it,
Well,
or a
it's-
portion, maybe? Were we, I mean, we didn't have anything for 911 coming out of emergency services
We
before?
already did, yeah.
It's split 50/50
Split,
at the
half.
moment. Law enforcement pays half and EMS
Yeah,
sales
that's-
tax pays half.
Okay, so
I'm saying pay it all out of emergency services.
would 199 be going to them, or
199 more,
99.
199 more.
199 more, because it's $400,000 a year? Okay.
I'm guessing, I think that was the
I was gonna
amount.
say, I think it's 186.
That-
roughly, but
Yeah,
close.
Okay.
it was, yeah, the 400,000 was a round number to work
Right.
with. And it's not saying we can't go back and put it in the law enforcement fund at some point,
Right?
charge it back to them.
Think on it. I don't have to decide right now, but we'll take a look at this stuff. But I mean, I want to take care of our employees first and foremost.
Yeah.
It's not that much different. It's the same as this year.
Got over in her office this morning.
They're all
It's
back
like,
on.
what do we gotta do today?
I said that
I'm
to
done.
Sam yesterday. Remember when I stopped and
Yeah,
talked to
no,
you?
She looked at me kinda funny when I said that though.
Okay, so right now, with the changes to her insurance and everything, there's $140,000 152 deficit built into general fund.
Okay,
That's with the 1%.
right.
So, another 1% would cost you about $65,000
In general revenue.
in general revenue.
Okay, but in GR is that 140,000 that we're spending on pretrial release, right?
Yes,
We eliminate that, makes that a zero, doesn't it?
almost.
So then we gotta come up with $65,000, right? That's just in general fund.
That's right.
Yes, that's just in general fund. So, do you want to kind of walk through the individual departments and see if there's anything you want to cut out that's in there currently? Or was there any request that you heard that you wanted to entertain adding in?
I mean, we could look at them individually, but in my opinion, I'm tired of looking like the bad guy, you know? So, here's the money that we got. Give it to your employees for raises or spend it on stuff. I don't care. Still an expense, right? Tighten your belt. Buy less pens.
I think
Use less paper.
right now, as it stands for 2018, we're gonna have to tighten our belts.
Right.
And we could be pleasantly surprised in 2018, could be one heck of a year. And you can put some of it back in, but I think right now, we need to approach 2018 as if it's gonna be a tight year.
But you have to be cautious with adding more salary increases because that's an ongoing cost and it compounds. So if our health insurance goes up or our benefits go up, it's a percentage of their salary. So if loggers goes up 1%, it's 1% on top of the 2% that you've added. So just be aware that that salary increase compounds. I mean, I'm very much for giving more of a salary increase, but it's an ongoing cost that does not go away,
Well, so does new employees.
right?
I mean, that's even worse.
Well, that's why we've kind of taken the stance if we can't afford to give good raises, we're not adding more people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, I'm for that. I'm for tightening our belts. I'm for taking care of the people that we got and not adding more people in 2018.
yeah, looking back when we had the salary thing, I should have voted against giving elected officials the COLA, because I think we don't need, it's the people that need it are, the people, so I screwed up, but I don't know if we could,
We always got outvoted on that. Sam,
well,
so.
I know,
I
but
was
I
gonna
don't
say, I don't
know.
think your vote would have been
No,
the
but
swing.
I'm like the COLA, I'd rather give more to, the people who are making less, and,
There are some changes that we'll have to make at the end of the year based on carried forward. So that dollar amount could swing either way, so just keep that in mind.
I mean, I've already taken my red Corvette out for 2018, so that, right there, you're saving 98,000.
I guess my biggest concern is some of the departments whose revenue is way down. We're not seeing any decrease in expense either.
Mhm.
So I don't know if those are some that we want to look at a little bit.
So you're saying that we ought to ding them more than others?
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe not. Maybe it's a service that we're required to provide and it takes exactly what's
Right.
in there, but
We need to look at the ones that increase their budget and see if they have like a justification of why it.
right, did they increase their revenue to cover their increased costs or?
Did they just ask for more office supplies just to have more office supplies?
I assume you guys probably looked at that too, though, when you guys did your budget.
We do some of that, but
I mean, I'm okay with
ours
looking.
is more based on the history or what it
Right.
looks like. I mean, could you not buy a box of pins or a, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean.
Is there
we cut 'em,
expenses
so
coming
it's
out of your office supplies that are not necessarily needed?
Mhm.
Possibly.
Or you look at all the different types of pens, I'm like, why don't we pick
Oh, but not
three
that.
styles of black and three styles of blue?
Printers, it's, you know, I mean, it runs the gamut. I mean, it's not just office supplies, it's everything, but just, the offices have to be more in tune on how to reduce expenses. Not just spend, spend, spend. It's how do we do it more efficiently? How do we, you know, do this so we can pay our employees more? And so,
Well, and I think some of the other departments you guys need to look at, as far as like, the health or juvenile, you know, what that really is costing taxpayers versus what they bring in, and how that's changed over the years. And both of those two have changed quite a bit because the grant funding is down, so in turn, the county picks up all those projects, all that programming. You know, to me, that would be interesting to see from, and I can tell you just by, it is going up. It's going up more that the county's footing. Is that where you want to be? Is that where your focus vision wants to be? Is the health department, you know, is it juvenile? Because each one of those are costing more. And they're all in general fund.
So I think let's quickly just, if you look at the bottom line on most of the departments, if you compare their 17 amended budget to their 18, you can kind of see that what are we covering in their budget that's not covered by revenue they're bringing in. So like ours is the perfect example. We don't bring in any revenue.
right.
So you cover the entire cost. But all of the cost was an increase to loggers, health insurance, and our salary line. Page 25.
What page?
25. So I don't know if we just want to quickly go through the departments and kind of just look at the bottom line, and if there's a big jump there, maybe take a closer look at why.
What do you think of the projected activity versus what we have it budgeted?
So what
I think
what were you saying to look at, Jennifer, or Kristen? I'm
I
sorry.
think look at budget to budget, so
Okay.
17 amended budget to 18 budget officer.
Okay,
And then if there's a big jump, then look at the activity and see if there's something unusual.
it's about $2,400, $2,500.
So I did have a bond that I have to pay next year, I
Right.
pay it 4 years at a time. But the rest of our increase is in the salary lines. So
And that's just,
loggers,
is that just with the 1%,
it is, but loggers went up 1%,
right?
health insurance increased, and then the 1% on salary.
And you could do it by category, you know, like personnel versus office supply. just like
Right,
it's
so if you
always-
look at our materials and supplies, we cut back, but then we added the bond. So we're down $20 in materials and supplies overall, because we added that bond in.
So that 1% raise cost us 1.6%, basically.
With all the other.
With all the other.
Expenses.
Questions there, want to flip to the collector?
I mean, obviously, you can't do anything about your bond, it is what it is, but,
Right,
you know, Could you cut some of those other expenses back slightly? Probably.
We probably could in office supplies and printing and binding. I don't know that we could in meetings and travels, because this year we actually missed half the meeting because my grandma died the same week. So, it was a light year, and Danielle actually missed the previous year due to Bob dying, so.
Collector, we can't do anything with his budget, is that correct?
You can't, so you're supposed to keep his funding level. Larry did say that that shouldn't necessarily include salary increases, because the county's deciding to give a salary increase. He's not making that change, so to cut the rest of his budget to offset what we give in salaries is kind of.
Okay.
So, and he actually, out of anyone, added the most revenue in general fund due to his commissions and fees.
Okay. That probably helped his fund too, though, didn't it? Did that help his fund too? Collector's fund?
His tax maintenance is determined on a different percentage.
Okay.
But yes, it will increase also. He does not show that though. Oh, because that one's only on delinquent. His tax maintenance is only on delinquent. Treasurer.
No revenue?
No. The only thing he really collects is the bad check fee occasionally. And again, his materials and supplies amount actually went down in the budget, so all his increases in personnel.
What is communications? What is that line?
Local and long.
Huh?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, local and long.
Right now, it's just local, because you're paying long now,
Oh,
that's
that's true.
27.
Yeah.
So just,
Most of them, his office, I think, would both just be PRI lines. Those are pretty cheap compared, you know how we bundle all of those. We just take the total of how many lines we have with that and divide out that cost between all of the different extensions that we have here.
so one thing to look at in his budget is we are paying for the Wall Street Journal.
Which is about $400 a
It's
year.
$480.
Yeah. I pay for my own.
So county clerk, you're gonna see a fairly large increase, just with being a larger election year.
Right.
So this year we only had, what, one or two? I think it was two, but neither one of them were countywide elections. Next year, we're gonna see 3 countywide, probably. Well, April maybe just municipal, but if the school districts all have school board members, it'll be
Mhm.
countywide. Something we may want to talk about with his budget too is the rent that we're paying across the street for the voting machines. He did get some grant money this year. He's using that to pay his rent.
Okay. Is that gonna cease?
The grant,
Yeah.
I would say so. But that grant has multiple functions that it could be used for. So if he wasn't paying the rent, he could be paying for the postal canvas with it. So if there's somewhere at the county that would work for his voting machines, where. we
Well, that's what I
would
asked
have to
Greg,
pay
because I
for
said, we've got the shelf space in the jail, but
Yeah,
Well, I
I
think-
thought that with Marvin when I came up here too, and, yeah. He
I
didn't
don't
like
know
it
what
much.
with the jail. If we
Well,
So I was wondering,
Yeah.
ESB, once the health department's furniture is out of there, that room that their furniture is currently in, because that would give them the loading dock or whatever to load their machines, which was a concern going somewhere else. I don't know if that's a possibility or if it's heated and cooled there enough to keep the machines, I don't know.
Where they got their furniture at out there?
On the right-hand side.
It's the first,
Where
yeah.
those loading docks are.
It's in there.
But if that's an expense that we could eliminate, that would help.
Election expenses, increasing because of the election year, what do we say, increasing the revenue?
So no, we only get reimbursed for the April election. August and November are paid for by the county unless someone else puts something on the ballot.
I know the clerk had asked for money back in his overtime. Is that for his staff working overtime or?
So in the past, we've only really done that in a presidential election year.
Okay.
It's kind of up to you guys, but it is, it's for his current staff, and they get to the point where they're gonna lose their time, they wanna take their comp time as overtime.
And his, what Marlon said the other day, she wanted more part-time.
How much was a storage rental?
It's
That's-
$650 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, if we can find someplace
I
that's,
tried to get Marvin to look at the shelf space, and I mean, obviously, you know, ESB is an idea as we pick up the new health building.
yeah.
Obviously, we could do something there too.
They do use it for the training of poll workers too, so they would have to figure out that part of it too.
Right.
Well, and I think the loading of the machines is an issue. The building across the street must have kind of a loading dock in the back that they can load the machines directly onto the truck instead of having to lift the machines into the truck and things like that. So I think that's a concern as well.
But if they're using a U-Haul, it's got a ramp.
Yeah, some of them have the lift on them
Lift
too,
gate,
so.
Yep, Tommy lift.
Yeah, 'cause
And then he also asked for part-time, which I gave him $4,000. I was assuming it would be less than a presidential year, but that was my assumption. I mean, this year they've only used $385, $385.
But we haven't had an election this year, have we?
We had an April and
I don't get two.
Just what, local school districts or
one was a municipal something, and then
just small communities?
one was
It wasn't
the
the-
District 50.
Okay.
That
That's
one,
what I know.
portion. And I think that the big thing that they use that person for is checking names on those petitions. So it's all dependent on whether or not we get a lot of petitions. Anything else there you see you want to talk about?
I'd say keep it at 4,000.
County Commission, we didn't talk about yours the other day. Did you guys see anything would change?
Do we have bonds due this next year?
It'll be Sam's.
Okay.
It'll be Sam's. Yeah.
Because we'll pay it at the end of next year for the next year.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then Debbie's is annually.
depending on whether I get reelected.
I'm kind of skipping the smaller funds. There's not a lot we can
Fine.
do with most of
Yeah.
those.
All right.
Recorder. So we did drop the recorder's office back in number of people. He had the person for, what, 8 months this year? To kind of train them up and get them through transition.
Thanks.
We did drop that back down. He did actually ask for an additional part-time person. I cut that out. He does still have the part-time person that he has the MOU.
Does that MOU change as salaries and stuff are adjusted?
Most of the time with his, it's a set hourly amount for a part-timer, so it's
Okay.
not fluctuating like a full-timer would.
Just the hourly rate?
Right.
But the MOU does change based on the rate?
Yes, usually.
If the rate changes, I guess,
Right.
yeah.
I think his is kind of worded that he will not exceed 15,000 in that salary and benefits for a part-timer, so.
Okay. His revenue's down a little bit.
It is. You want to pull that one up?
Probably has to do with interest rates. And if the interest rates and people aren't refinancing, it doesn't.
Look at his equipment service contract too. Looks like we're only spending about $500 and we're up in there at that one.
This is the revenue side, fees, is that the one?
Yeah, so what's an actual?
229.
So he's got another, he brings in revenue daily, so his amount there is obviously not there yet. So we're hoping to get him to the 250 mark. But last year we were 270, so. And the year prior to that, we were, I think, 300.
See, that's what happens. And the orange comes. Okay, would you want equipment service contract?
Yeah, just look at that one real quick. It's about $450 in there that's for repairs that I don't know if they'll use or not use.
Is that just for like copiers and stuff, or is
Yeah,
that for
it's up on the
software and
screen
stuff
here.
too, or?
Yeah, so it's up on the screen
3 of
here.
them.
One's a scanner maintenance, one's their copier.
That doesn't include software?
No,
Is that
He
somewhere
passes
else?
that to.
it's the
Brian.
comes out of Brian's budget.
Okay. Has it always come out of Brian's budget?
For the last
It was,
4 or 5 years.
it was under Robinson too.
It was under Rodman.
I mean, not all the time. The last couple of years, we started paying for them.
So you'll see in Brian's budget, peopleware or the
CIC.
CIC, yeah.
I think Ralph's added a lot that Rodman didn't have, so.
Oh, I did, while we're on his budget, give you guys a list of his capital requests this morning.
I get down here, Ralph is okay with his budget.
Except for this capital.
Where did you put that?
Yep, at the bottom there, that 17.
Okay.
Those are the items he's requesting in capital. Didn't have the other day.
What's he microfilming?
I'm guessing the things.
Why?
I don't know that the Secretary of State accepts his imaging as the permanent record, so I don't know.
So we're microfilming stuff, which is what the clerk's been doing for the last 5 years that we're trying to get rid of.
Actually, what he uses that money for has been for the storage. He has a storage thing too. He's spending $1,500 a year.
How much? Storage?
$1,500 a year.
Where's that at?
And his MS supplies, his main budget.
Yeah, but where's he storing
I
stuff
think
at?
it's that one across from,
Oh, at U-Haul?
Yeah,
Yeah.
U-Haul.
from Sonic up there.
Why? We got Remedy SB probably to store everything he's got. We got racks in that one back room doesn't that room have all kinds of space?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And you'll see that his recorder's trust fund is very healthy also. We used to pay for, what was the previous MOU? Was it a whole person?
Yes, a person and a
Yeah.
quarter of,
Yeah.
8 hours a month.
So,
We picked that cost up.
All right, what else you want to look at with the recorder? Since Greg's here, I'd like to go ahead and take a look at what he's got.
Okay, we'll come back to GIS then. I just want to give you where we are now, and what we're talking about is just the 15% of the capital.
Okay.
I was gonna ask for that anyway. I'd rather know what we have to start with, and I don't know if that's working backwards or working forwards, but.
What's our balance?
Well, right now, with the carry forward of the old sales tax and what we've received this year, and what we still will receive, we should be at 1.7. Okay, of that 1.7, here's what we've spent in 2017.
So all those other, with all those revenues that you, go back up.
Sure.
Okay, those are all revenues.
This was a carry forward. This was,
Okay. I'm just, yeah, all those
Yeah.
are revenues.
Yep.
Okay.
revenues different ways. These are the things we've spent and done this year. It's been quite light, if you will.
Slow down there, boss.
Sorry.
Said window tinting, lighting, Bringer Family Center was, all the bathrooms.
I was trying to figure out what Annex project lighting was. I guess that's Annex.
Yeah, what was that door reader there?
What the hell is that?
Greg, do you know?
Here's the bills.
Is that the one over?
That's the one in the back?
Yeah, that's,
Replace the one in the
wouldn't,
back of the building?
yeah,
Might have been, yeah.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
Bad door reader, all systems.
I think it's the one in the back of the building.
It was in June, does that help you? It was in June.
I think they had to replace the one on the
Yeah,
back.
we had one that wasn't working.
Okay, what's the miscellaneous? That's how my mom codes a lot of stuff,
Oh,
miscellaneous.
That was the,
What the heck is
That was-
She's gotta get her nails done and.
Yeah.
that was the furniture.
Furniture for here.
Here and any other
Tables
odd
and-
little stuff that we bought.
Okay.
I didn't get you that, I'm sorry, you didn't see that, but that's that window tinting was the courtrooms.
Right.
And then the annex and then,
Card reader for security, that was the new card reader for Hilke.
uh-huh,
Tree removal,
yep.
Yeah,
where was that?
there on the, on the roadside.
Those trees out there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this was just odd computer stuff that we bought.
What's the admin fee?
It's the 3%. And then this was that, GIS thing we did with Melissa. That was the TIF, basically, we subtract that back off of, we have to give that back to the city, if that makes sense. Brooks Park, that's part of the grant money that's come in so far. I mean, that we've spent so far, sorry. Maps that we just spent. The sirens. Batteries.
The
yes.
batteries.
And then that cameras for the juvenile that we just did.
Okay.
So we spent 414,000, which right now, cash on hand is 1,258,000.
Okay.
I think it's off like $30. I
I know what it is.
You know
Is
what,
that,
$30?
It's the payment for the TIF for the mall. You got coded wrong there, I think it's wrong.
Oh, okay. I was
It's
like,
$50.
Forget it, I'm close enough.
does that count, all the revenue coming in from the sales tax for this year?
Up to yesterday, yes.
Okay.
It doesn't include that last payment, but I did include it in the revenue, if that makes sense. I did
Okay.
include it up here in the revenue. The last estimate for the year was 60.
It's fine. So we
Or
got
15%.
We got 1.2 left, and then how much are we bringing in every month?
About
Rough.
60.
60,000. Okay.
So, okay, now, keep it, I'm sorry. So here is, that includes next year, right? 930.
So the 1.7 has already got the 414,000 out of it from 17, correct?
Okay, right. Here is where we are after these items have been paid. So Brooks Park, we still have about 55,000 more to spend on that via that grant. That sidewalk thing, I don't know, but that's the amount we figured. We have a PO out there right now for the copy machine for juvenile. We also, I've not seen that we paid that half of the desk for the recorders.
We approved a copy machine for juvenile?
Yes.
We did. We decided to purchase instead of lease.
Yeah.
And then you have a PO out there for Brian's stuff for, and that's Brian's stuff.
We haven't paid for the recorder's half of his desk.
No, I didn't see that out there.
I don't think he's paid for it because
He
he's
has
still in
this
parts.
holding,
Yeah, because it's not.
he's waiting on pieces and parts that aren't here, so he doesn't want to pay it until he's got everything.
So, and then I don't know where we are with that, half of the 911 stuff. I don't know if that's still something we're paying. And computers is just if Brian needs any more by the end of the year. So basically, if you add that, or you take those things off, then our balance is 943. If we do all those. We are going to do the PO ones.
Is there isn't there a PO still out there at the CenturyLink for those the 2 Cisco switches, 4 switches?
Is that the one for worldwide?
Should be simple.
Yeah, it should be CenturyLink.
I don't see a PO out there. Is that law enforcement paying for that? It's us. How much you think it is? Well, maybe it could come out of that 20,000.
It's right around 50.
Here's the list of POs.
So are you gonna spend all that, Brian, before the end of the year?
I've got it also, I mean, as long as I can get it installed, I'm kind of waiting on the vendors to make that happen. The reason why I came in here is because I heard Brian.
Right.
I heard computer stuff.
Anything that has a PO entered in the system will automatically carry forward at year end
Right.
if it's still open. So we will
Uh,
have to budget for those open POs because it means we've already signed a contract.
I've got the paperwork downstairs.
So there's a PO on it, it's already been ordered.
Yes.
It's already been committed.
So I'll double check on that one and why we don't have PO out there. But
Well, we did that in a meeting one day, and I don't know.
did we sign a contract?
Mhm.
Should have come from the contract.
I usually have been making them put the PO
So
on the
what's-
contract.
Unless I missed it. That's the list.
What's the 35,000 on the 911, half of the 911 equipment?
That was a 3-year plan with the city to upgrade their 911. We paid 2 different times on that, and I don't know if this third time was coming or not, but I heard it was, but we haven't seen anything, so.
Will that come out of emergency services?
We've been splitting those 911 things half, haven't we? Half.
Yeah, this says this is half, so I think it was like 75,000.
But it was half out of here, half out of EMS. It wasn't half out of the sheriff, half out of here, half out of EMS.
And that's just because we did it the last 2 times doesn't mean we have to continue. But, so that's.
Good answer. We've always done it that way.
Yeah. So right now.
Miscellaneous.
If you pay all those things up there, you're at 893,000 plus that 1 month that we just received this morning. So we have 953,000 plus an estimate for 2018 of another 934,000. So you have about 1.8, 1.9 to spend next year.
Okay.
Okay, so then this is the list. Greg's got a list there he gave you. I kind of incorporated that list here based on if it was a priority A. And then down below, we have priority B, which is within 3 years, and then a priority C, which is within 5 years.
Okay. Take that 18,000 out. That ain't coming out of there.
Okay.
That was for the reverse 911. We're not gonna pay for that.
Where should I put that? EMS or sheriff? Okay. These are just things that were on the list from Christian and
I mean,
Greg.
I don't know, I mean, you guys tell me, but the battery replacement, I think that should come out of emergency services too. I mean, what a better place for that to come out of. I mean, that's definitely emergency service, sirens. I mean, yeah, we paid for it out of capital last time, but that's gonna be an ongoing cost. I mean, any maintenance to the sirens and everything else. I mean, and what do you guys think?
I don't even like the sirens.
I know, but we got them.
Well, if we get a new system that Bill's talking about, you know, we're,
Well, that has
we'll
nothing
call
to do with
you.
the sirens, though.
Well, I know, but
I agree with you. I'll just stop there. I'll get off my trip about the sirens.
And then I had just plugged a figure in there. I don't know if, Brian, if you came up with that at one time, that it was $7,000.
52,570.
Let's talk to Jennifer afterwards too about getting, yeah. 52.
I gotta quit watching that screen. I try to read something, she flips it around every time. I think that gives me more of a headache than anything. And she does it on purpose.
Well, she could probably send you that file, and then
I
you could
think
look.
it's out there actually on your commission budget
Is it?
2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look up on your screen, stop moving around.
Yeah.
But every
Well,
time she
yeah.
changes it, it's not out there.
Well, it is now, I just saved it, so you should, you should see that one.
Okay, so if we
But
go
no, you
to F
changed it,
drive,
because I'll be
right?
really messed up.
Commission F drive?
Yes, commission, and then budget, commission budget, and then the year 2018. And then it says it's a sales tax capital for 5 years.
Gotcha. I always forget that stuff's out there. We're out of money. Sorry,
About
Christie.
moving to the law enforcement center. I think you got a cost of $7,000 from CenturyLink.
did you bring us food again today?
I did not bring.
I still got your banana.
Well,
That's my snack.
You're supposed to eat it.
Banana.
so you don't get hangry.
Banana.
Yeah.
So, and then you could just read what those things are, and they kind of match what Greg has, unless Greg changed his last night.
All right, so that's moving to the sheriff is Brian moving
That's-
servers and stuff over.
That's just the CenturyLink.
Okay. Can you specify that out there?
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, elevator module upgrade for the courthouse.
That's for that old one that still runs over there.
Is it,
If it goes down, it's gonna have to be remodeled. There's no parts left for it. They call it obsolete.
do we have to have it? Is it in the back here?
It's the
Across the old.
cross where the Texas prison is looking at.
So we kind of need to have that.
Yeah, I was gonna
But
say, that's
the
the
other-
one they use for.
But when we built the new one, and we knew that that was not an option to fix that old one, so that's kind of why we built a new one, but it is, you know, you'll hold up other people if you use that to bring prisoners up and down, because, you know, they don't want no public going on there with the prisoners.
Right.
But for many years in that was only the one elevator. that
I was
we
gonna
did
say,
do
it's just
that.
gonna hold them up for a little while. They'll just have to deal with it.
Is that new elevator though unlocked to go?
You got a key, you can go all the way to the bottom. Key and a badge.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to
So
make
that,
sure
that
we're.
could be how do you rate that?
Right now,
Are the ratings on our paper sheet here?
Yeah.
yeah, you can see them on yours.
I think it's What does it say?
I mean, if it would,
I don't know how
You didn't
that,
have one on that one.
that's one of those that,
if it would give up the ghost, we still could use the other one
yeah.
while we're,
I mean, let me show you to the bottom here then. So right now, we're at 2,057,000 with those ones where I took out. Do you have to decide today on these? No. You don't have to tell me, as long as you guys know what we're facing here.
No, but I just, I mean, we haven't gone through these in a while, so
Sure.
I'd like to go through them, so.
I mean, I
Unless you
can
guys
put
wanna
that-
do it a different day. I don't care.
I can put
Gotta
that
do it
3 years
sometime.
out or next year out, whatever you want to do.
Elevator module upgrade for Carnegie, that's the one that gave us problems over there.
Yeah, that's another one. If the control board goes out, it's gonna have to be remodeled.
We got stairs,
Yeah.
healthy Carnegie building, the way I see it.
yeah, but you got the public defender upstairs if they have some,
80 acres.
yeah.
They could come downstairs and meet with them.
And then this is, I'll let Greg talk, these 3 are all about the generator in the courthouse, but maybe there's another option?
The option is, like we were talking about, moving Brian over to the sheriff's department.
Right.
Moving all that IT stuff, get it out of the courthouse and take it over there. They've got a brand new gen set over there that'll handle it just fine. It's got all the top of the inverter system on it, so it won't send spikes out to his computer stuff when it switches. That one doesn't right now. Right now, the injector pump is down. When the injector pump went out, it may have taken out the injectors. They don't know. They may have dumped a ton of fuel into the cylinders, so when they go start it, it may blow up. They don't know until they get it to our part. But it's an awful lot of money just to tear an old 71, built in 71 generator. The other problem is that gen set was built for the days when they had sulfur fuel, and we don't have sulfur fuel anymore. That's probably what took out the
Right.
pump. I'd like just to get rid of it. I've already talked to, till Brian moves in June, July, we're just gonna put a set of temporary pigtails down there. If power goes out, I run out and grab one of Bill's generators and plug it in and we go. That's the cheapest and easiest fix for right now. Then once, if we decide to do the landscaping next year, we get rid of the fuel tank, we get rid of all that stuff. We don't have to worry about EPA no more. I don't have to do all my stuff for Missouri Petroleum that I have to do every year, and we're done with it.
And I actually pay insurance on that thing too, so,
Yeah.
not much, but.
You think it's really gonna cost $12,000 to get rid of all that fuel?
That's what I talked to one of the guys. Then another guy said if we time it right when they're making asphalt, he said he might be able to get rid of it for nothing if the asphalt plants are running.
Okay.
So,
I mean, it's just sitting there, so we can do it whenever they want.
I was planning on doing 4 projects I was looking at next year, and this is with your all's approval. Tuck pointing, roofing of the Carnegie building. Getting landscaping, sidewalks done at the courthouse. We'll probably have to do some landscaping over at the Carnegie building because we're going to take those trees out in order to get lifts and stuff in. Those trees are up against the building right now. And then.
Where was that at the health building? Trees up against the building?
No,
Carnegie's.
Carnegie in the front.
So if we go into Tuck Point, we're gonna have to cut tree limbs and everything else so they can get into Tuck Point and seal
Just
it.
take them out.
Yeah, so it's, take them out, regrade everything, get the water flowing away from the building, and then just do some nice little decorative bushes around it. The other building is Vermonster.
Is all that stuff that we have to do before we move in, or?
I would like to do, at least get the mechanics of the HVAC done, because there are gonna be people above the ceiling, and stuff's gonna be falling everywhere. The roof, I'll have to go back over, look, we might get another year out of it, or 2.
Yeah, I think Jim had said it was probably good for 3 or 4, but that was
Yeah,
2 years ago, so.
Yeah. They've got a courtyard that I'd like just to do away with, concrete it, and have it as a play area for the kids. can scream and yell all they want. Because, you know, if we get hard, right now, if we get a hard rain and that drain out there stops up in that little area, it's gonna flood the building.
What are you wanting to put out there? Like a playground area?
Well, right now, they've got a open hole that they've got in the courtyard,
It's like an atrium.
like a little atrium. I'd like to just do a flat roof completely across that, get rid of that area. And that's just, that drain stops up and we get a heavy rain or something, it's gonna flood the building. To me, it's just need to look at it. And see what
Yeah, I'm not picturing where that's at.
It's over on the dental side, like on the way to the conference room.
Yeah, where,
They have like some perennials and stuff out there.
And tree. So, I mean, I don't know why people-
it's not, it's just kind of wasted space, really. I don't know what.
It lets some natural light into that area. That's about all.
What are you looking at, Debbie?
I'm sorry, I hijacked her a little bit. When I came up here, I heard you guys talk about the recorder's maintenance software, and I had a question on that. Where you got too far away from it?
Computer information concepts, people wear.
Yeah.
It's that one.
I didn't remember that being.
What's budget for that?
Yeah, just take
What was
that,
budgeted last year?
broke it all the way across.
I think 13.
13. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that what Ralph submitted?
I
That's up
think
to
we
you.
updated it to be
Okay.
what it was this year.
Okay, because I know you added some stuff to it, and I just wanted to make sure that he had.
Floor, it would be nice to put flooring in before we moved
I
in.
think
It would be
that's
a
what
lot
the
easier.
estimate was this year, like what it,
That's what he
Right.
gave to you? Okay, just want to make sure that,
I'm pretty sure that would be updated.
okay. I apologize for that, guys. I just wanted to make sure that that number was on.
It's gonna cost you.
So where are we at?
Well, we were just talking about the health department and the different expenses right there, so you can see.
Okay, so
Now,
you're looking at all 5 of those, 2, 4, 5, yeah.
I added that. I don't know if it's gonna cost that FF&E or the move or.
Which one?
The FF&E furniture.
Which you got an estimate on flooring and it was
90, right.
90.
And I wanted to point out, Chrissy pulled our expenses for as the end of November for this year. And payroll still has to come over out of that, which is about $70,000 a month. But, you know, we have about $264,000 that we have not spent this year. My staff and I have been trying really hard not to spend all the money that you've given us, because we know that we're getting a new building next year and we've been trying really hard. So I forgot to point that out Tuesday, that we're not in the practice of spending everything you give us. We're trying to be very frugal.
That's right.
Because we know that money is going to be needed for that building, so. So still, probably at the end of the year, we'll carry over a balance of probably $150,000 that we did not spend this year.
And the health department is very good about if grants go away or they change enough their personnel, and they are, you know, that cost difference between what they bring in and what they spend. But there's other departments, you know, that just
So, yeah,
depends on where your focus is.
But we try really hard. And yeah, I did call Scruggs, and the estimate for the vinyl plank flooring that's in the collector's office was about $5 a square foot, but that was for tear out and everything. But, I mean, carpet like this would be fine like in our offices, but in any of the common areas, the walkways, the exam rooms, the lobby, we need like vinyl, I don't know, concrete. We need something that's very easy to clean and doesn't hold
Slippery
liquids
too.
like
Yeah.
carpet, so. Yeah, it can be easily sanitized, so. And so if carpet would be cheaper in the offices, you know, I think that would be fine, but in the common areas, I know carpet's cheaper, but it would be bad.
So altogether, you know, in capital, $345,000 if you did it all for that.
Window.
The flooring's not on this list though.
Yeah, flooring's not there.
Okay.
There's several things that stopped there.
But I'm thinking we're gonna need $50,000 for furniture item.
I think we've been.
Yeah, we've got
We've
a
been
lot of-
scrounging really well, and then
Well,
you've
some
got.
of our desks can be
you've-
moved.
Yeah,
and
you've
then
got,
We've got several sitting over at the MS building, so,
yeah.
Yes.
yeah, I know.
We've had to it.
I don't know if we want
So-
those metal things up there.
What are we talking about on the HVAC upgrade? I mean, that's-
Right now, they've got, and I've talked to the buzzer, Jeremy and Kevin and some of the other guys. What they've got there now is an old system of pneumatics, and they know, Jeff had gotten a bid to upgrade it before they decided to sell it, because they needed to, because pneumatic parts are obsolete. There's like 10 VAV boxes that are still on the old pneumatic system that needed to be upgraded to DCC, digital control. While also talking with the guys, they said there's 8 of the old VAV boxes that are fan powered, that the fans are getting ready, they're going out, and you'll have to change the whole box out. I was talking to them about how would you bid something out, since I can't get prints from the building to know exactly where everything is, and they said just do it as a design build. Well, design build, I still need to put some parameters on what I'm looking for. I wish I could find a set of mechanical prints for that building, I really do. So I don't know exactly what's up there. I know some of the stuff is original to the building. I know some of the stuff has been added since the new part. There's a lot of old equipment sitting around there that nobody has taken out and disposed of because of some of the refrigerants that's in them, some of the.
So is that the whole building, or is that just part of the building?
It's going to be part of the building as well as tying into the, what did I put up there? 60,000, that's the number for Buzzer. That's what they had quoted Jeff.
But what is that?
That is to go through and do all the digital controls with the front end unit and everything else.
Is that upgrading the equipment?
Yeah.
The whole building?
Some of the equipment, not all of it.
And so we're gonna have 2 different systems still then?
No, you'll have one when you're done.
And it'll all be VAV? Okay. And lighting, what are you talking about there?
They've got a lot of old fixtures, they got T12s in them. To me, it doesn't.
Is that all LED?
Well, yeah.
Will Ameren,
I have not gotten that far because technically we don't own the building.
yeah, that's true.
So until we own the building and we have a bill that says this address, I can't do anything. More likely, we get a rebate.
I got a rebate back, we did the store, and that was nice, and I'll tell you what, you can see a savings on your utility bills too.
Just what
Were you wanting to see if they'll do it?
What's that?
You're wanting to see if they'll do it, reimburse us for the lighting, or give
Not
us
all
a
of it, but
grant?
they,
Yeah, they'll reimburse it for.
Why can't we have the health center go and request it? They own it. We can get an idea. I mean, it's,
I'll ask
if,
for it.
I mean, if we're gonna do it, otherwise, I mean, don't waste your time on them, but if we're gonna do it, we can find out what it's gonna be. I mean, we got an idea, it's, if they're gonna reimburse us, they're gonna reimburse us for the ballast, right? Those were,
Just gotta go through and count everything up.
What else we gotta do over there, Christie? We're gonna need a new sign.
Yes, and I contacted BC, but they haven't told me how much yet. They can just rework what's existing there. They won't have to tear it down and do more.
So that brings up the outside electrical to those signs, short out every time it rains.
So we're gonna have new electrical ran out there.
I just said they had that fixed, but I'm not sure.
I talked to the guy at Meyer Electric, and he said he said it hadn't been fixed yet.
so that 20,000 grant that you've got, we have to use, what did we decide we were gonna use that on?
We haven't decided, but we can use it on renovations related to improved services for clients. We can use it for infrastructure repairs to a building. We can use it for information technology, so.
We just have Larry make a bill for $2 for $20,000.
Well, I'm just saying, yeah, we do have that, even though that's just a drop
I
in the
know,
bucket.
It's
but-
20 grand.
But we need to make sure we utilize it.
Well, I think once we get over there, we gotta take out all them trees there in the front there to open that up so you can
Right.
see the building.
I would like to, because a lot of people are like, well, you can't.
It's hidden back there, you
Yeah.
can't see it, and so,
Take the trees out.
Yeah,
extend
Larry
that
already
culvert
said
up over there on the left side, get rid of that ditch that runs down through there.
okay.
So I think the biggest, well, I mean, for a use for us, besides the lighting and HVAC, new flooring and then paint, but it's not very,
Okay.
the signs.
I'd be willing to come on a weekend and have a paint party.
Oh, yeah, all
We
my
are,
staff
that's
are
what
willing
we're-
to do that. I
we're
could probably
talking
get
So
some more
that
volunteers.
20,000, if there's something that you know you're going to do, such as flooring or something, if we want to get started and purchase the materials, we could store them to get that grant used, even if we may not be in the building
Yeah, I
prior
just-
to that point. So be thinking, if there's something that we can do up front and pay for to get that grant used, we
Mhm.
want to use it.
Yeah,
I mean,
We
yeah,
have the money, all we have to do is give them the invoice by the end of May.
yeah, I mean, if we want to buy the flooring,
Okay, let's look at the rest of the list.
Okay, well, so I did put it back in there, which probably wasn't in Greg's anymore, that's why it's blue, but the pigtails over at Juvenile for the generator, it's up to you guys. Courthouse, what was on Greg's list was sealing the parking lot. It's up to you. Health Department, they did ask for medical records, the 35,000. And then the annex, that I just added this morning, ta-da. Copy machine back here because we keep having service calls on it. Up to you guys, just saying, put it in there. Maybe I'll put that in blue too, but it is very aggravating most of the time, so.
Is that not under a service contract?
No, that thing is 11 years old. It is under service contract.
It's a
It
good
is.
one then.
Yeah,
Cause it's old.
yeah, but when it don't work, it don't work. So, Carnegie Building, there was some lighting for the parking lot.
yeah, they've requested it, it's dark down the pit, so I was looking at putting a couple wall packs up on the wall, running some electric up to it and just shining in. Probably 8,000, probably high, just some lights, to shine down through there.
And then the ceiling of the building, and the roof replacement.
Those numbers are probably gonna be pretty close, because I had re-contacted, and given us some prices before, and they ran, and that's what numbers they came up with, rough numbers.
Okay.
And then Chris asked for carpet and tile.
And we're getting to that down here.
Okay.
Oh, I know, I
It's
didn't put
okay.
that in. Oh, I put that in the, down here.
I was gonna say, that was
It's
what I
on-
wrote in.
It's on here.
Okay.
It's
I
on
put it
sheet.
on there as a 3-year deal.
Okay.
We can move it up, it doesn't matter to me.
It can make another 3 years.
Yeah, I'd rather do the roof and the ceiling than,
Well, but we can do that, and we can do some other stuff too. I mean, we
yeah.
Here's some of the requests that came in, the circuit clerk, they wanted some office equipment, was that computers?
I think it's mainly replacement of monitors and printers. She's done a lot of that in the last.
County clerk, a lot of this stuff could be on
How does,
Brian's list too.
how does that work? We're supposed to supply them with all their,
All we have to supply them with is a place to work, is what I was told.
So
Okay.
most of their computers anymore, other than like the marshals and the court reporters and stuff, are state computers.
Yes.
But I don't know where that line gets drawn.
I
So-
would ask Jill, because that stuff
So-
has changed since. what I-
Are we reimbursed?
no?
No.
No, they get money from the state, and they want money from us too.
The county clerk said something about a printer, I don't know if that was on your list, Brian, or
I
not.
don't think that's the check printer. They're scared the check printer is
Oh.
gonna go down.
For accounts payable. and that.
Yeah.
So, but it could still go through there. Through Brian's list, if,
Right.
if it's the turnover,
But
how long we
that's
had
the
it.
one they're talking about. That's why I pulled it out of theirs, because I'm like, that's really a countywide printer. We print all the accounts payable checks on it.
And then the public administrator, they wanted 7 new chairs. I understand they may be purchasing it this year though. IS, that's the list.
They are ready for this year.
That's Brian's list of all computers
Yes.
for,
I
now is that all departments or?
Brian, do you
Yeah.
remember
That
that?
doesn't include though the sheriff.
No, it doesn't include the sheriff, it includes the health department, the county.
County what?
Yeah. Still learning that, sorry. So pretty much,
Everybody but the sheriff?
everybody but the sheriff, and I think Public Works is in really good shape. The court's office is in really good shape. The prosecuting attorney's office is in pretty good shape. So that leaves, I guess, you
Everyone
just-
else.
Yeah, everyone else.
We've talked a lot about computers at the new building, because like right now, we have computers in every exam room, and everybody has them in their offices, and we're not gonna do that. As he replaces them, the nurses will just be given laptops, and they'll take it with them to the exam room. We're not gonna have as many computers, so reducing our numbers a lot. It'll be like at your doctor's office, where they just bring it in.
Yeah.
I can get you
WIC,
that
and
list.
WIC is providing computers from the state, and Melinda's already having conversations with them about replacing their desktops with laptops too. But we don't provide computers for them.
Yeah, the assessor, there was 5,000 for workstation. He really didn't mention that the other day, or did I?
And my understanding was that was if you add additional people, he needs additional workstations and computers.
And then the recorder's list of capital that Kristen gave you this morning.
Christie, did you have, did we have something for Christie at the new building for the kitchen?
I don't have a cost estimate.
But that's a project that you're wanting to do, right?
Right.
And your electronic health record.
Like I said, we had Jim Wishka with us like in July. He was supposed to give me an estimate. I mean, I don't know. The electric's there, there's a sink there, a 2-vat. I want it to be a 3-vat, you know.
10 to 12,
I mean, it's not a huge project.
10 to 12,000, I would say, tear down the half wall and plumb everything in and wire everything up.
That would include everything that she would need to, stove and.
Well,
Vans.
we're hoping we're gonna get some.
No, that won't touch it.
Probably up now to about 17.
I was gonna say, you're gonna be punching close to 20.
Yeah. Yeah, commercial stove and vent's gonna run you 10, probably.
The other thing we didn't, he just pointed out, is we didn't talk about the cost of moving our badging security systems to the new building.
I know, we haven't talked about that, we haven't talked about the security system, we haven't talked about the cameras.
Cha-ching, cha-ching,
Can we all
cha-ching,
just carry the building?
cha-ching,
Sure,
cha-ching.
works for me.
There's a lot of things we haven't talked about.
And that could be up here in this 50,000, you know, FF&E, I don't know really what to.
Everybody's gonna have to bring a folding chair from home to start with.
They can just all stand up, you know, that's part
There
of the
you
workstation.
go.
You know
They
what?
got tall counters, you just stand up.
How much
You want to
extra
stand at
stuff,
workstation, just go stand over there.
how much extra FF&E are you gonna need? Do you need all new stuff, or are you gonna be able to move
No,
most of the
we'll
stuff
move all-
over there?
Yeah, we'll move all the desks.
So that
we
number's
can,
pretty
that
high
we
there,
can-
probably.
Yes, and then like I said, we have quite a few desks over at the ESB that we have.
Scrapped.
got, So I don't think we need many desks.
I don't know where you want to put that.
No, that's,
No, yeah, because the cubicles that we have, we won't be able to take, so we could sell those or whatever.
well, that's what I was getting
Yeah.
at, is the FF&E number there. How much of that?
So you got some cubicles that you're gonna get rid of?
Yeah, because we.
Maybe the
we wanna
assessor
take
can use those.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think
you're
we want
right.
to take those
I
and put them
mean,
in an office.
You know, that's.
I don't know where he's gonna put them.
I was gonna say, I don't know.
Yeah, we have quite a few that are in the middle of the upstairs.
Right, yeah.
This reminds me of a Christmas movie right now. Where you gonna put a tree that big? Bend over, I'll show you.
You were watching that the other night too, huh?
Greatest Christmas movie ever.
That's right.
All right, sorry, I saw something shiny. But yeah, if he can use them, I mean, that's a great idea. If he can find a place for them. But where I was going with the FF&E part is, if we gotta do a kitchen out of that, because you really don't have There's, I think that Debbie, you was mentioning that. What else did you say? You know, not necessarily FF&E, you have kitchen, you have your security cards and all that stuff.
That 50 could include all
We,
that. Yeah.
we're talking to one of the service clubs, and service clubs also, their internationals also have grants, so I'm gonna work them and see if we can get money to pretty much cover that.
I'd be happy to name that kitchen area after them.
Yeah, but, you know, Lions Club International, they have grants that you can apply for. Every service club has that, so we're gonna see if we can,
If we can get some, that's great.
yeah.
So you can see we're about 1.9, and including those and taking out some, and not knowing the cost of some of the other things. You're at 2.1. Those things will all depend. These are all estimated costs. Because Greg did his best to try to give you nice round figures on these estimated costs. We can still do that. But here's some upcoming stuff that you guys really need to think about too. So,
That 12.8, that's a request from the recorder for computer equipment. That all
Yes.
needs to go through Brian. I mean, if he wants us to pay for it, then he needs to go through Brian. I mean, it's obviously he's using Rich in the past, but
well, and I don't anticipate you guys are giving approval for this stuff today.
Right.
I think these department heads still need to come back to you after the budget's approved next year, and then you guys decide. And, especially with the health department building and some of the
Yeah,
stuff Greg does.
I don't want to prove any of it till they bring us hard numbers.
Yeah.
So,
So it gives you an idea of what's out there and what's to come. We get, again, about $935,000 a year. As you can see, we have way more expenses coming than that $935,000 is going to cover. Especially when you look at that top number there for the electrical and plumbing in the courthouse itself.
you got driveway sealing on there twice, or?
Oh, I did. Depends when you want to do it, I guess. Oh, I moved it. Did I move it? Nope, it's there. So we need to get rid of that one. I think at once it was a B list and it made it to the A list or something.
Yeah, it's getting to where this out here is gonna have to get sealed. We're gonna have, either that or we're gonna have to mill it and redo it. I know over there, those parking spots that public, or the prosecuting attorney, they use those over there, and down the pit is gonna have to be replaced before long. It's just all breaking up.
And I just wanted you to see the ones on the law enforcement center that was coming in the next 3 years potentially. That can come out of law enforcement capital. So cheap.
So the carried forward, do we intentionally try to put some in there in reserve to carry forward each year, or is that just what we,
We kind of did this year because we had old sales tax coming in.
so you're saying no?
Well,
we
need
try to spend it
in
down?
5 years. We need to spend this in 5 years. So some of these projects cost way more, so we do have to kind of save to get there, if that makes sense.
Okay, so if we have a big project, like if that elevator goes down, we decide we want to fix it, and that's $250,000. But we're gonna be spending everything down to zero. Why would we do that? Why wouldn't we put some in a,
We always have a contingency.
So there's 250,000 that we have set aside in contingency at the moment. We don't normally spend the whole amount we put in capital improvements all at once. So we could increase that contingency amount if you want to hold back more than that.
250,000 over the top of the 1.9 million, or?
Well, so right now I have 1.2 in capital improvements in the 804 because I still have them separated because we weren't sure where the 802 was going to be at the end of the year. So there's 1.2 in capital improvements and 250 in contingency and then 225 in computerization.
so is it contingency or is it reserve? Or can you call it what you want to?
One and the same.
In this one, in most of them, it's the same. It's the same account. We don't have it separated out as this is
Okay.
reserve and this is contingency.
So I'm looking at reserve as, I'm saving it, maybe it's gonna be a project we wanna do in 6 years.
The
So it's
goal
gonna
is-
be
goal
over
is to
2
not
sales
use
tax periods.
contingency unless there's an emergency. That is the goal. We should not be transferring from contingency
That's-
unless there is an emergency.
That's how I would say too, that's emergency, so that elevator goes down, contingency goes to 0.
Mhm.
If we don't have that on one of our to-do lists. I don't have it on the to-do list. I think we could deal without having that elevator if we had to for a while.
Well, it is in the total of this.
I see it on this here,
Okay.
but that's what I'm saying is I would rather, okay, we have some big dollar stuff here that could come up. And if that elevator was an emergency, I mean, I think it's a convenience thing. I think we probably need to keep it over there. I think it's probably easier for the sheriffs to use to transport prisoners and stuff. It's probably not bad to have a second one.
Can we go back down to your Bs and Cs? I mean, so that $100,000 to clean the law enforcement building, that shouldn't be in our capital.
Well, so that he did have something in his budget for.
I thought he was gonna do that, but I just put it as one of the buildings that
Right.
I think there's some money in his, maybe I took it out, in his building repairs and maintenance, but I may have backed it out.
So the other things that I just noticed, I mean, there was some parking lot ceiling repair here at Carnegie, Pringer. I mean, we ought to try to do all those together
Yeah.
at once.
Right.
You know, if there's other buildings or whatever that need some, but,
Well, that new building out there, that parking lot, that entrance ramp coming in, that really ought to be replaced. It's breaking up if you're going out there, doesn't it?
no. At the
Which
new
one?
building,
Which one?
at the new
After
health
the health,
building.
once we get
Okay.
it coming in, that hill coming in, I don't know if it was just the base underneath or if it's just old asphalt and it's starting to crack up.
So, do you have that on here?
No, I have not. I was hoping that they were supposed to maintain the building until we move in. I was hoping maybe they'd fix it.
So it looks to me like we need to hire a guy that knows how to put in flooring and paint. Because I think we can keep him busy for the next 3 years.
Yeah. I agree.
So, and wherever you find these to fall is up to you guys. But
Any others on the list that we're not seeing, or these are just the A, B, and C priorities?
I think I went through your list, Greg. If you see anything that are not on there, here's.
The only thing that's not on there is, Christie brought it up about the generator moving it from the health department now to the other one. Talked to Cummins Mid-South, I've talked to two electricians about, they said they wouldn't know until they actually would have to look at what the main coming into the building is. That's what they're gonna have to size the transfer switch for, and then depending on where they set the gen set at, how much gas piping they've got to run to it. They said,
Does the community health center currently have a generator?
no, it does not.
What do we,
They're
what's the essential need for a generator over there? Just the
Vaccines,
coop? That's it?
that's it, vaccine refrigerators.
And those are all 110. Worst comes to worst, we'll still a couple bills on the
Well, the
300s.
we have and we also have a contingency contract with St. Mary's that if worst comes to worst, we take our vaccines and we take them over there. That's what the community health center does. They take them somewhere. They don't try to keep them at the building.
I mean, so you could technically set a small generator over there, hook it to natural gas and run a dedicated wire to the refrigerators.
You just take a portable generator and set it over there and run it to it.
That too, but I mean, you just need something to be able to either turn all the breakers off and just run that one or whatever.
How long does the vaccine have from the time the alarm goes off until you have to move it somewhere?
I guess it depends how you open and close the refrigerator or not, and how well it's insulated, and, you know, how well the refrigerator keeps temperature.
You're the sheriff's.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
There's
know,
bigger cooler
buy her a
too, you know, we
Yeti.
can.
You know, Greg,
we can still put
when
that Cooler at Bill's.
when they were tearing down the St. Mary's part on the east side, and they offered us 2 generators that were almost brand new, we didn't take them. In hindsight, we should have taken them. But when we were talking, Farmer said we can have, they're gonna be taking down, we can have anything that they're not gonna use. I wonder if there's any other generators over there.
I don't know.
I'm not sure that we
And-
need
And there
one.
might be, Pringer wants a heating table for their food, they might still have one of those in their cafeteria.
Yeah.
Well, like we
The
talked to-
cafeteria got stripped.
Oh, it did. Last time we were there, they still had some equipment. And the new building, one thing too, is like right now, we have vaccine refrigerators in 3 places. At the new building, there's like a vaccine room, so they'll all be together. That will make it a little easier.
So we talked at the safety meeting too about, the generators and having our buildings ready to be plugged in the generators too. But then we also need to know we have dedicated generators within the EMS that will come to us. I know some of those generators were purchased for other purposes to help.
Right.
So,
Well, EMS probably has refrigerators that they keep medicine in too, right?
I'm sure.
So we could take it over. There's several things we could do if there was a power outage. We could take it.
Yeah, they've got their own generator.
Yeah.
So you can make do.
Yeah, we
Make
can
do
make
without
do.
having a generator.
Yeah.
Is there a, other than a refrigerator, but
I think there's
Right.
mostly people that would be there type thing. We
Get
would
out a
have to
flashlight.
house them somewhere else.
they don't have to leave.
House.
House the kids somewhere else if we don't have electric.
Electric or heat?
Or whatever the generator powers, I guess.
It's an emergency, we can.
I mean, so when the electric goes out at your house, are you leaving?
I got a generator, just saying.
I think it's some restrictions from the state though, like our daycare. if
Well, then
power
let the-
goes
That,
out
yeah,
for
there
10
might
minutes,
be, we might be required by state.
Let the state pay for it. Good luck, huh?
I still might ask, I still
Unfunded
might ask
mandate.
the farmers if there's any new generators over there,
Yeah, but,
just for my own
so that's fine.
curiosity.
You get a generator, you put it there, and now you gotta have a maintenance contract on it. Now you gotta have fuel for
Yeah,
it.
we have a
I
generator.
mean, it's
It's
just,
just moving it,
Yeah,
yeah. But we could make do without it. if we had to.
okay.
Okay, well, so that gives you a synopsis of capital. Again, I'm not asking for approval of any of this today, just give you awareness of what's coming.
So the one thing you probably do need to decide is if you do want more in contingency, we can change that and increase that contingency line.
I guess my bottom line is, just because it's there, we don't have to spend it right now.
Right.
And I'm still looking at the old jail, doing something with it someday. And that's gonna be a big dollar one.
Yeah.
Right now, you got the roof, the new roof red under B or C, which I'm not gonna be
No.
for
No, we're not
replacing
gonna do
any
that.
roof.
No.
No, we're not.
I know you're just saying that needs to be done at some point, because otherwise the water's just gonna keep going down.
And if you've looked at it lately, it's got more cracks, the windows are all rotted now. It's just like anything sitting there empty, it's gonna be done. Where are we going on now? 7 years that it's pretty well been empty? 6, 7 years?
7, I think,
We moved it 11.
was 11, 10 or 11.
So,
Many moons ago.
I think whenever we do that electrical and
So-
plumbing replacement, that's when
Yeah,
we just need to,
that'd be a big project, we may have to put it as a bond to do down the old jail. put a new
Do what?
courthouse, And redo the courthouse at the same time. I don't know if they'd go for that.
no, you
Because
put
that
on a
1.4
bond that we're gonna
million
tear
is
down
not
the old
gonna
jail,
happen.
you're gonna
That's not
have.
your sales tax.
It
I mean,
would be-
Greg is right, that 4.5, 5 million is not
Not
gonna
gonna-
happen with our 15% sales tax.
No.
If you ever wanted to, plumbing, heating, cooling, that would not be something anyone could absorb without going back to the, I don't think.
No.
Personally.
And it's all gonna keep getting up.
Well, at your 800 or 900,000 a year, it would be a whole 5 years
Of doing nothing
of
else.
doing nothing else.
And that's not an option most times, because most times we're fixing stuff that's already broken.
The electric over there, if you're talking about that one,
Needs to be upgraded. The switch gear.
so you're talking about doing all of it at one time? at 5 million?
Might as well do it floor by floor. You're gonna have to rip out.
Well, then you do one floor and wait a couple years, do the next floor, wait a couple years, span it out over some different sales taxes. You just, you gotta pick and choose which one you're gonna take care of.
Is that a good thing? Old stuff to new stuff, connecting?
You're gonna have to do it at some point anyway.
I thought you were getting all new. So now you'd have to then take the old, connect the new to the old, and then come back and like connect the new to the new. Well, it's not new now, it's a year old.
Do it all the time.
Do you? I don't.
You take old houses, you add on to it. And you got some stuff you can upgrade in the old parts if you have to, and you make it all gel together. And some people do this remodel one time because they can't afford to do it all at the same time. That's exactly what this is. If you don't have money, you just can't do it.
Well, and keep in mind the timing, January 1, you'll have about 900,000. Through the year, you'll get another 900,000. So it's not like we can attack all these things at one time anyway. We don't have the cash flow money.
I don't know, we don't have to decide this today, but like the health department, which part, are we gonna do this and have this all done so it's almost like going into a new building? Or are we gonna say, look, we can live with the windows, we can live with the lights, maybe the roof is something that if we don't do something now, it's gonna cause more problems? Or how we wanna approach that? Because you're looking at another 350,000 there.
Myself, I'd like to do, if we don't do it all, I'd like to at least do the interior. Get the interior done, that way we're not bothering them when we come back to do the roof or anything on the outside. At least get the interior, where the flooring's done, the painting's done, the lighting's done, the HVAC's done, and we're ready to move in.
So that's everything?
No,
Not the roof,
no.
inside. But then I hesitate to why we wouldn't do the outside first, because if we destroy the inside, you know.
Right, if the roof leaks or something.
Yeah.
But well, he said he needed to look at it.
Yeah.
Let me look
It
at
could-
it
it
again.
could
We may
last.
get another 2 years
Yeah.
out of it. I don't know.
I'm betting we can get more out of the roof. But here's the deal too, is do we just want, let's just get it done.
Bite the
There you
bullet,
go.
do it.
Bite the bullet, have it done. Or if we got somewhere else 160,000 you can go. If we can get 3 more years out of the roof, let's do it. That's our stand on that. The windows, so why do they have to be upgraded?
Some of the windows, and are like in that little vestibule or whatever you want to call it. Some of those windows are broke and they've just covered them up and over on the inside. Some of the windows they've repaired. The jambs look like they fell apart. I need to go back. They repaired a few of them. Just need to go over and look and see what's left that needs to be fixed.
So is that just carpentry and some glass, or?
Yeah.
And the budget is only 60.
See, there's our carpenter again.
Only?
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking, that's a big building. I know that 60,000 wouldn't replace all the windows.
Well, half of it is underground, there's no windows along the back and along the sides. It's really just the front and one side that has windows.
So is that all windows, 60,000?
Probably a good 3/4 of them.
So you guys just need to think about what your focus may be. Carnegie Building, new health department building, and then maybe the annex. You put that off. That's a big ticket item there for the heating and cooling. But you guys talk to Greg about that as far as what you think is priority. And then we could go from there. We could bid these projects out. But that's about, unless you guys got any other questions for Greg or?
Like I said, the projects, looking at the sales tax numbers, looking at potential cost and everything for next year, not running all the contingency money out of the sales tax. Projects I see is ceiling, Carnegie Building, the roof, some lighting on the outside, landscaping, the front and sidewalks.
Sidewalks, yeah.
And the building, next year, that's it.
Our sidewalks are terrible. It's,
Did we go out to bid on sidewalks? We
No.
just got a plan.
Waiting to bid.
Then we'll sell them.
Waiting to bid.
Whatever that's real. We'll sell our current building for it.
I'd like
Oh, that's
to
what I
do the
put right
roof
here.
and get those bids up by March or April. Get them back on March or
Use
April.
that for.
So where's the sidewalk? Oh, there it is. It's up at above 17 projects. Okay. So what's the status of that then? Is it being bid?
No.
Okay, we were still looking at some
Yep.
drawings a while back and.
Yeah.
That, and I think, and then you also want to take out the tanks and do all, I mean, you're gonna do it all at one time, so you don't landscape and then have to come back and tear out.
So are you comfortable with the $250,000 reserve in there? And then the rest of it, we just put into capital and we get the request as you are ready for it?
So I mean, obviously, there's money in capital to do capital improvements, but I mean, if there was an emergency, we could dip into reserves and pay for some of that.
In general.
Yes.
Yes.
So there's other money that's available.
But just be aware, you're spending down the reserves by 1.5 with the purchase of.
I realize that, but I
Sorry.
mean, that's why we
Yeah.
have reserves, is because when stuff comes up, we have money to be able to spend stuff and fix it.
Yeah, it's,
Because 250 ain't gonna get you very far.
it's a,
No,
If something really bad happens. I mean, we could have a big storm, it could take the roofs off several buildings. I mean, obviously, that would be insurance.
The jail.
Big lightning strike there.
I wish you would.
Interest is going up and up. We don't need any of that.
That's kind of why I really did not much to the capital for this year. Sales tax money coming in, increase it. See where we're at.
I think, if you do one building at a time, so we've pretty much got Pringer done.
Did you see the list?
Well, but I mean, no,
Not even
but
close.
basically, and we get the health department, and then we get Carnegie sealed, and just kind of, I mean, the HVAC and the bathrooms was, that's,
But those are the.
to me, that's about all.
Mhm.
Majority down at Kramer's got it.
I-
Michael's got his wish list of things.
No, we did the critical stuff that needed to be done.
what is the status of health building?
Last I heard, they were gonna have their third floor done late February, early March.
Coffee.
And the other two floors
Yeah.
done in May. I suspect they will try to.
So it'll be end of the year, September, before we can get in, or?
Yeah, I think they'll try to move as quick as possible.
Supposedly, they're ahead of schedule, this latest thing we heard.
Really?
I don't
So
know.
when can we get in?
They were-
I would say.
They were saying June,
July is what I.
June, July.
Okay.
They want to be out of their building by June or July.
And I mean, we
You're
would
okay.
prefer not to move in late July or.
I'll get you a
August.
burban later.
That is
Will ya?
a very busy time for us.
That'll be
although
before noon,
I guess
though.
it depends how much we can do over the weekend, I don't know.
Thank you. Just warm it up. That's it. He's all right.
Oh,
What do you got in your coffee again, Sam? Over here giggling
it's just
stuff.
coffee.
Huh? I'm sitting there,
I
I
just
don't wanna
like
do it
to
over
see
top
you
of my
sit there
coffee.
with the cup and he's taking care of Deb first.
Oh, I wasn't up
He's
here
a
quick
gentleman.
enough.
He's a gentleman.
I was sitting there thinking about when we're getting in the health
Which
building.
bank
but-
you use, which,
I've got my Lincoln University one.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
People watch the cups you
We
use.
can't do it anymore.
So I just did the question about the, like, EHR, conservation certificate, so can I, like, bid it out, then I would bring it to you for approval if it's on the list, that way you would make the decision then?
The what?
What's
The
that?
electronic medical record that's listed
Oh.
there. Is that how it would work? We would,
I hate to have vendors go through that trouble.
I know if we're not good.
Is that a pretty
Well-
good estimate, you think?
Yes, I got
Look
that.
at Brian's list. How much did we build into his for
Is this
other?
A lot of other health departments are using.
Is it under
it's for
sales
health
tax?
departments, It's not for.
So 80, yeah, 804 and then.
Refresh my memory on that. What's that gonna do for us? Gonna make it more,
It's gonna make our clinic run smoother and we'll be able to bill insurance.
it's gonna be
easier.
more efficient, and so it actually should save us money in the long run?
Yes, it'll make it run a lot smoother. And hopefully be less
we have right now.
You want the
not
number
running
with it,
efficiently.
yeah, I don't want
It costs a lot of
the
staff
number.
time and, yeah, it's an antiquated system.
I mean, it makes sense. That's what I was wondering is how you justify all that to upgrade it.
Billing is changing, I mean, that's, we're changing billing at Cap Region too. It's-
When are you gonna do that instead of writing your bills out? Write a receipt out every time I buy a jacket.
Yeah, you do, I do.
Like, why don't you just bring it up on that, oh, wait.
No, I can't, well, you do,
Poor Sam.
I know.
Always picking on Sam.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's
huh?
right.
Well, you got such pretty handwriting.
I'd have to print.
Okay, so are we done with this for now?
We are.
Okay, I got coffee, I'm gonna get rid of some coffee. So if the elevator breaks down, it's truly an emergency to do something like that, it would make sense to use that out of actually reserves instead of capital contingency. Now, if we want to increase and start putting it, a nest egg together to say for a big ticket item, I'd be fine with that too, to
Well, that's
start.
what I'm asking you. Do you want to start building that up, and you want to put more than 250 back to save for something else?
I think if we're gonna do that, we can take stuff off the list here. As we,
So you kind of got to tell us one figure, and we'll plug the difference into the other.
Well, if you want to save for big ticket items, I mean, you almost got to put $500,000
Yeah,
a
you're gonna have
year
to
to
put-
that. I mean, in order to even try to touch something that's gonna be something big. And then that limits how many projects you can do. Because you're only bringing in, what, 900 some odd thousand?
Well, do you envision this building this year, or 18, the HVAC? If you don't envision that
On the
this year-
annex?
Yes. Okay, then you could do $500,000 in there to save for that, then for
Right.
19. And then the rest of it, if these other ticket items are not that high, even the courthouse elevator, it's high, but these other things are
Well, I mean,
relative.
I guess, I mean, I don't know.
If
You
you wanna
guys
do
think
a
about that
$500,000,
650?
You could do,
That's a big
Another-
chunk of our money.
Right. It is. And it's easy just to take out the big one and then do all the small things.
Well, that
You could do
big
another-
one in the elevator.
do
Yes.
another 250,000 in it, which would give us 5,000, or 500,000.
Well, so if you look though, I have it separated in the book, so really, I have 435,000 in one and 1.2 in the other for capital improvement, so you're talking like closer to 1.6, 1.7, so if you pull another 250 out of that, you're still at 1.4 in capital.
And that depends on our carried forward.
Right.
So, the rest
Depending
of
on
that-
what you spend before the end of the year,
Yes. And I don't envision us spending much more with these other items.
I mean, you're
For the
one
end
more
of the
budget
year.
run.
Yeah. Other than those POs, those are ready to go. Those copy machine, the bill's out there, so we're gonna pay those. But I've allowed for it here, so.
I don't know, maybe we do
have
look
that
at the,
one, but we're not
it
paying
would've been
that.
nice to do that before we did all this painting and carpet.
Any of these, by the end of the year.
No.
No. I guess
Is that the
so.
whole building, Greg?
Number I got is around $35 a square foot, and that's from 2 different companies. And they said, all depending on what the copper price does, they can go up or go down.
Is that eliminating all those units out back?
Well,
Going to the
yeah.
LG system?
We didn't think about that, did we?
No, I
Collector
did last
assessor
night.
software
When
is
we
not
pay
in
for
here.
that stuff. Where are we paying for that?
Oh,
So first year is 123.
Currently, we are paying,
If you need a new server, probably more than that.
I'm not gonna need a new server.
Okay, so 123, 124.
but we already got in there, the 50,000 and then the collector's part.
Well, so
Right.
some of that though, Clear Basin's probably going to have to extend for a while through next year, so you're probably going to pay some of their costs. Anyway, for next year. Now,
If this
DevNet,
is prorated then because of that, I don't know.
but some of DevNet's stuff here, I'm confused, so.
To me, the assessor's office can pay for their part of what this is, out of their computerization. but the collector's part, you know, we've not really discussed that with Larry, so.
Well, yeah, so his portion.
So what are you saying, out of their budgeted computerization?
Yes.
So what about paying?
Their reserves, put it that way.
Reserves. And do they totally operate out of the assessment fund or not?
Yes. I mean,
So their current software, 50,000, is budgeted in their fund.
Right.
But I'm saying some of that we're probably going to have to continue to pay to Clear Basin until the move is made. And their portion of, I don't know, should they separate it out? Oh, I can't.
accessories.
Oh, I can't. Year one total for the assessor, 88,274.
Versus
And what's the rest?
35.
Well,
Where's Larry
collectors
paid?
should be budgeted already. There shouldn't really be changing. It may have increased slightly, but they're currently paying
Yeah.
DevNet's.
Yeah.
Portion of that will come out of the assessment fund.
In my
If
mind, I'm
that's
just
the-
asking, yeah.
If that's the way you feel,
Yeah,
that's, we're asking you.
it's definitely a function of the assessor. I mean, we shouldn't pay for it out of our capital.
Well, I know when we switched the last time, we paid some of the initial costs and then the maintenance got pushed to the assessor, so. So the migration and some of that cost we paid the last time and then he paid the annual maintenance going forward after
Sure.
it was implemented.
I don't know, that's my feelings. You guys think that way too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we should.
So that doesn't have any effect on capital?
That's why I told Channel 8 the other day. He said,
If
well,
that should be in there as a
he
quarterly.
already interviewed Kristen.
It's just in there as 25.
I said, but we're
So it's
benevolent, but we're
34.
frugal.
Plus the 9.
Plus the-
Is the 9 separate? That's listed underneath, or the 35's the total?
Not so much
I
lately.
think they've.
No,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not.
there's some.
You're rubbing off of it,
I
Jeff.
don't know if it's technically
But I think
maintenance.
there, scroll down, is there another DevNet? I think he pays two different, maybe
Oh,
not.
he pays for the,
He pays for
Internet or
the, yeah, so the
webs.
9,000 whatever is the
Right
internet
here.
portion.
it's only 3.
So it's going to 9. And then so it's going from 28 to 35. Is that what I'm saying?
What fund is that in?
It's actually in general fund. I'm increasing that now.
That's Larry's portion?
Yes.
So you're looking at a year one total of 88,274.20, right?
Why doesn't
That's
L-
for the assessor.
Yeah.
Go up to the top for collector.
Yeah, but we're already paying for the collector, right?
I know, but
Not
there's,
at that rate.
not at that rate.
Why doesn't LE pay for that out of his fund?
It's definitely an option, I guess. We do pay for other department software, so I don't know what to say. Assessor is kind of their own fund. It's different than GR, you know, because Larry's in GR.
Right.
Assessor's in his own. We can talk to him about that, you know.
I mean, does he collect enough in that fund every year to pay that?
I don't think so.
But is it required for his office to operate? I don't know that you can use his money to supplant something that is currently in place. Like you can't cut something out of his budget and make him pay it out of his tax maintenance fund. And supplanting is not allowed, like you could.
Did he have it before? Did he pay for part of it out of there before? Yeah.
Well,
When we initially purchased it.
Right, he paid for the upfront, kind of like we talked about, we paid for the assessors. I think Larry paid his upfront cost out of there to implement the last time, but then we took on the maintenance once it was in place.
It brings in about 70,000.
So how much of this is more implementation to bring all this together versus the maintenance?
Larry's is only maintenance, like, it's not,
So why did
We
the
must have added
maintenance go up
something.
$10,000?
We must have added something to that
yeah, I don't know.
website.
Yeah, I think, I think there's something to the website
Yeah, because it went from 3 to
update,
9.
because once it goes, after the first year, it drops back down to 5.
Maybe it
So I
is,
don't
maybe it was
know.
part of the assessment
I
that
thought
they
you said
needed.
25.
That could be.
So right now, we pay a quarterly amount,
Mm-hmm.
and then we also have his Edge software, which is his online payments and all of that. So it's those two together is the 35.
So we changed yours to those two.
That's
So-
35.
right.
Includes those
Is that
two,
the
but I
one
think
that
you said
credit
quarterly, that's a yearly.
Right, we pay it quarterly,
On the sheet,
but
right?
Right.
we pay
Yeah,
6
let me
something
just go ahead
currently
and print it for
quarterly.
you again, now that's got it.
But then this
No,
9 then drops to 5, the second
You
year
weren't gonna
stays
check the
at
maintenance.
5. So I don't know if there's something they're changing
Yeah, that's
on
good. Yeah, I printed.
online payments.
Okay.
Not a sales tax.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, you double check that one. Okay, well.
I mean, maybe he could pay the
look at
difference.
assessors while we're thinking about that.
And maybe that first year is some sort of upgrade or update. I don't know what is causing the difference.
She got maybe the mapping or something that it changed because of having the assessors part on there now? Or
I don't know.
With on the internet, that is.
I'm just saying, I mean, it looked like it was 26,000 every year. I mean, it looked like it stayed pretty flat. I mean, I'd say if he would at least pay the wedge portion of it, or,
Well, we were paying the wedge, but we were paying 3 previously.
oh, so it was line
There was
items
2,
differently?
yeah, they were
Okay.
two different amounts in there.
How much was the assessors part now?
First year's 88, 274.20.
Do we need Greg anymore?
But you don't, I think you.
Can he get out? He's,
What?
Don't
he's
change
heading
that.
out of town.
I think you're still gonna have some costs to clear basin, so add
Noon.
a separate line down there for DevNet maintenance. We need to figure out
Okay.
what clear
Since it's a
basin's
different one.
amount is gonna be. He quoted a monthly fee if we extended it month to month, or whether or
I don't
not
know
we.
that I saw that.
So we need to figure out what clear basin's cost is gonna be next year.
Did I change that?
Should have
139. Yeah. Okay. Well, at least we have those costs in there now. You know, we'll balance out with the carry forward and whatever we have. But and if there's anything else that you guys think of that we've missed in capital, please let me know, or that you've been thinking about, that's not on the list of buildings. And Brian's gonna look over his equipment within sales tax too. And of course, that's a ever moving target because things break down and he has to replace printers, phones, scanners at the whim. All right, so you guys want to go back and we can tell these guys they can go with the capital part? Or, and then go back to looking through the budget line items again? I think we're at GIS.
Let's finish sales tax while we're back there.
Oh.
So I updated, if you want to pull up 803 and 805, I updated Eric's stuff with actual dollar figure yesterday
Okay.
and open POs. They did just send me this morning some additional POs that need to be closed out or eliminated, so that will change some. But as of right now, I'm about 200 and some odd thousand in the hole in 805. And I don't know if I'm missing something.
Do you want to do them separate? It's going to be hard to look at.
Yeah, just do 805, because 803 we're pretty good on. It's just the open ones that are currently out there. But we may need to, so that 287, 748, I'm currently, and let me look here, because I know that Joyce just this morning.
We're good with looking at capital, but we haven't approved anything.
That's
No,
right.
no.
That's right.
No.
Keep
I
that,
just wanted to
say
make
that louder,
sure.
say that louder.
You kind of said that, are we good with capital?
Yeah.
We're good with looking at it, that's.
We're good at looking at it.
Yeah. Well, we kind of narrowed it down.
Can I go ahead and get bids and then we'll bring it to it and then you would decide whether or not you wanted to do it, you know?
Christie asked about electronic health records, if she could go ahead and get bids.
Try and get a bid and then you make the decision or?
Well, how close is your $35,000 estimate?
From one vendor, that's right on. I don't know what other vendors will come out.
So it'd be that or less.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do
So
it,
she sent me 803, but she didn't send me 804.
We got service contracts with that too, or?
There may be some that
But
comes
that's
out,
already-
but right
we
now
already pay
it's
one
not.
now,
And then
so
he said
that's
there's
actually
some
right.
projects on Rainbow Drive that it's not even in there yet.
What are you talking about, Kristen?
So bottom dollar there, see the negative 287,478.
Yeah.
Right now at 805, we need to find 287,749.
What about the money coming out of 803?
803 is budgeted separately. So there's
Right, but they're-
different projects in 803.
Wasn't there a surplus?
so we
in
never did
803?
get you an answer.
No, there's not.
See how we get headaches around there? We jump around there.
You're talking about the cooperative project with Schaefer Cutters. on
I think she can get
Rainbow
bids,
Drive.
I don't,
Yeah,
Does that
Eric just
mean-
sent something, you said it wasn't in there. I thought it was. Is there not a Rainbow
Say you can
Drive?
get bids.
Yeah, I thought that one was in there.
140,000.
But if you click on that though, it doesn't say Rainbow Drive in there, it says Business 50. Something's wrong right there.
Now, business 50, that's fine, maybe 140,000, but.
Right, I think the name there is wrong, we have it in the wrong.
chicken,
He has a call.
Well, Rainbow Drive will be nowhere near that. I mean, maybe.
Right, but he's saying Rainbow Drive is
Can we
in
let
there,
Christie
but
know
I'm
what we're gonna
still
do with her
already
electronic
over
thing?
with what it is.
Okay, bid it.
I would love to bid it, yeah,
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we jumped into that and
Sorry.
I just wanted to get an answer.
Greg, have a safe trip.
All right, Greg's gone. So now what are y'all trying to figure out here?
Kristen said that this 805, which is the new sales tax for road and bridge, is upside down.
At the moment, just with the projects we have in there. Now, there
Upside
could-
down, wait, meaning we've already spent too much money than we're gonna get this year?
We have too many planned next year. We have more planned next year than we can
Okay,
cover.
we're spending more than we can cover.
Right.
Okay, does Public Works agree with that? What's our numbers say?
It needs a contingency though.
Okay, let's just go through this because I recall most of these.
So where are we at on, I mean, are we in a different place in the book now?
You're still in sales tax. If you were back at 804, 805, just flip the page, then you get it.
Okay,
Those are the
so we're still
expenses.
going,
Still in sales tax.
what page is that on?
Where are we at here?
115 and 116.
Wait a
116 is
minute,
804.
now we're way back in 115, on page 150, I thought we was going in order.
Well, we were just gonna get capital.
Back at the top there, boss.
Oh
Well, I'm
my
at
God.
the top of expenses.
So much for going in order, huh?
Those are revenues. So I just wanted to show you
So,
expenses.
Debbie, update 85% of the sales tax. Make sure that number is correct. Since we're in here.
What do you want me to do?
85% of where you're at in sales tax right now.
So here, yeah, okay, you got that zero on that BRO.
So we took the BRO project
Right.
out.
Right,
We are receiving money on the railroad spur. Get it.
right.
So other than sales tax and the railroad spur, we have cash forward and interest. That's pretty much the revenue side of capital improvement sales tax for them.
Okay.
Were we upside down the other day?
Well, so we were making lots of changes when Eric was here because they were closing POs and things like that. I
Okay.
updated, this is the cash amount as of yesterday.
Let's look at this one here, bridge construction.
You want me to get
What?
You got the notes?
on bridge construction?
Yeah.
So how are we upside down now, but we weren't the
No,
other day?
on expense, Debbie.
Sorry.
25.
I don't think it
So how are we upside down today, but we weren't the other day?
There.
What?
Well, how are we upside down today, but we weren't the other day?
I've incorporated everything that's currently open in the current cash, and I can't come out to
Okay,
where I'm supposed to be.
I think this was Old Forge Road, and they were not gonna do that next year. I can't.
No, I thought Old Ford was the BRO project.
Did you guys turn the thermostat on? Off?
I haven't touched it.
No,
Okay.
we haven't done
It's really cold on
anything.
our side, so I didn't know if you shut the thermostat off or not.
Okay, so
Okay.
what are you thinking that is then?
maybe I just need to, let's call Eric and see if he'll get on speaker with us.
Fine. Close it out, let's look at some of the others.
5, 3, 4.
Well, you're good. Upside down and.
Sorry, I was gonna update this one.
I dream in numbers, Sam.
Huh?
I dream in numbers.
Yeah, I know, that's why I thought about the assessor's thing. 5, 3, 4, 1, 4, 4. Did that change that a little bit?
Go down, Debbie.
Yes.
Hello, this is Eric Landwehr. I'm sorry I was unable to take your call at this time.
I don't think he's sorry.
Which one?
I think he's listening. He's screening his calls now.
I'll find him. If he's there, I'll find him.
Okay, of course, how may I help you?
Hey Brenda, it's Kristen. Is Eric Landwehr out there somewhere?
He left for a little while. He'll be back probably around lunchtime, he said.
Okay. Can you give me his cell phone number?
It is,
Go down a little more, Debbie.
his is 573-619-4551.
Okay, thank you.
Now everybody has that since this is being recorded.
Well, only give it to certain people.
Not anymore.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
I'm just messing with you.
Bye.
What was yours, Jeff?
I don't have one.
4551.
What's the note in here? Oh. Guess that's what I was thinking in here.
I had his number if you wanted it.
I like the heart.
Hey Eric, it's Kristen.
Hey, what's up?
We're in budget hearings again. You're on speakerphone.
Okay.
We're going through sales tax, and for some reason, I'm about $287,000 in the hole. 237,000 in the hole.
Okay, I probably can't help you much. I'm out driving right now.
Okay. We're here all day. Is there a time when you can either come up here or call us back?
I probably could. I'm going to therapy right now. I could probably just run up right after that. It'll be, assuming I get in on time, it'll probably be like 11:30 or so when I get there, maybe a little sooner.
That's fine. Are we breaking for lunch?
You're having lunch up there?
Yeah, you can bring us double cheese and Big Macs.
Yeah, if you just want to come by here when you get done.
Okay, that'll work.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
So you want to wait on his?
Yeah. Make it be a lot easier if we can just answer.
Okay. So.
Go back to 803.
You don't have an X, you can't steal.
I don't care.
Didn't you get you some of them?
I like this one better than the
Just
foam ones. This one's like.
I like
sand
the
or
heart
something.
one. It was.
This
I
one's
didn't get
sand.
this one.
That's Jeff's.
Oh,
next
that's
one.
his. Oh,
Oh, I had one like that, I broke it.
I like the heart.
I like the sand one.
I like
better
the heart
than
one.
Can we take a break for a minute? Like I need to get up and move around.
Yeah,
and-
then I'll go to the
You
bathroom.
just tell me what in there you want to look at, Chris, in the 803. Kristen, you think you got all the POs updated?
Yeah, I think I got that one updated. I think the only project that they're gonna continue in there is finishing South Liberty. So the construction for it is not encumbered yet.
So are you just probably counting something over here in 803 that should
80
not be in
803
805 or not?
balances, so I don't know, yeah, I don't know, but 803 balances. It's 805 that's off.
Okay, so we're gonna have to cut a project out. is
Or
what you're
just
saying.
delay it a little bit.
Right. Right, just, there may not be money to do one next year, you may have to push it off for a year, but I don't know which one makes the most sense, or, and maybe I have something in there that I'm not supposed to. Like I said, they're closing out open POs left and right this morning, trying to get it cleaned up before the end of the year,
Your
so.
cash forward was right.
My cash forward is the cash as of yesterday, so it will change based on what they paid at the end of the year, but it's a good idea of where we
What
are right
balance is
now.
it? and we don't pay it this year, it's just gonna go to next year and pay
Correct.
for it anyway.
Correct.
But that's
So
what
this
she,
one's okay, but 805,
805's off.
we gotta do something with.
Yeah. And like I said, it could be I have something in there or not.
But was it balanced before?
well,
It was balanced on mine, but Eric made a lot of changes yes Tuesday when he came up here.
Okay, he said that, I thought maybe he was just changing when some of the POs were gonna be paid.
well, I
So
think
this
he was changing it because of the POs and what
Right.
had been changed since you did it in August or
Right,
whatever.
so I
Okay.
updated yesterday based on yesterday's cash and yesterday's open POs.
All right, I'm gonna take this over here real quick.
I need to talk to Jennifer about that CenturyLink thing.
Yeah,
Did
we need to
make
get
sure
The invoice yet? I don't remember, was it at us still?
Oh,
Yeah,
accounts
I think-
payable?
yeah.
We need to move, change the
She's-
GL, and she's to transfer first.
Well, so we can approve it being
Oh, I thought
over,
you-
but we need to change the GL.
I thought you
Karen
already
can
did
go ahead and
change
do it,
yesterday.
we'll get,
I changed the check run date on it.
Oh.
I didn't change the account.
well, I was gonna change the account and that threw it over, so I didn't wanna change it before we had the
Who is it
transfer.
we're paying again? I forget. Well, I
It should be the one.
This one?
Yeah,
Intern.
Inclusion Solutions. So, change that to,
So did you have that 140,000 in there in 805? For,
Villages? Yes.
no, for Rainbow Drive.
Oh, no, it's Business 50. We just have the name wrong on the outside.
Right.
Oh.
So that one's Business 50 and he doesn't have Rainbow Drive in there
Oh,
yet.
for their fourth quarter office supplies?
So we need to add Rainbow Drive, which is gonna change
That's
it
a
again.
cooperative project with Shaker Cutters.
Yeah. We just had the outside name of the account wrong. Danielle wrote it down, we need to fix
But
it.
that might be, I know we're doing some engineering on that.
That's the way I understood that.
I'm gonna turn this
It's-
up.
It
Is
is
this
Rainbow
over
Drive or
over
it's
there?
Business 50.
He skipped over Business 50 completely and went straight to
You're gonna,
Rainbow
you're gonna
Drive.
give some heat
So
over there?
I took it
Yeah,
as
if it'll get warm in here, we'll turn it back down.
That's what he meant for that.
So just let me
Because
know.
it was 100.
It is, when you walk out the hallway, you can tell.
Which
it
I think
it
is supposed to be
cooler.
Business 50.
Yes.
So I think it's just named wrong out here.
Yeah, we just need to add Rainbow Drive.
And we need to add Rainbow
Who
Drive.
wants to approve
But
that?
that's,
But does Rainbow Drive have a bud?
No,
So
he
what are
doesn't
we
have
on
it in
now?
there yet.
We're just taking a little break from.
Because he sent an email this morning that said he didn't have
Okay.
Rainbow Drive in there.
Good luck.
Thank you.
we're doing some of the design work is all on Rainbow Drive, and Scott's doing most of the curb and gutter.
Yeah, I think it's minimal, it's just not in there right now.
But I think that design on Business 50, he was gonna push off till maybe the end of the year and into the next year. He was talking, what, 19 or 20 before we did something on Business 50.
We didn't do sales tax on this one.
And there's something about that bridge too. There's a bridge that we're gonna take down. But that's.
That's in 803, it's in bridge construction at 803.
That's an 803. So what was the 200,000 in 805?
The 270 is the railroad, or money coming back in.
No, there was bridge construction, you had 200,000 on 805.
I think that's just miscellaneous bridge work, like stormwater.
No, it was stormwater.
Had 1.8 million in requested,
Then maybe it's up there.
and we knocked it down to 225. Our budget officer did.
The what? Like sub accounts.
So.
Where's the,
If it had zero, it was just like out. And so
Where's-
you can't tell what line some of the projects are.
Where's the excess money for the cooperative for villages?
It's still in there. From the previous one?
No, that only came into play in 805. It's
Yeah,
the new
so
sales tax.
it's in there, I just haven't separated it out yet,
So
so,
the income's in there and the expense? or-
no. What income?
Well, so certain amount out of the revenue coming into their.
Are you
portion
cold?
of the,
I turned that up because
God, she was hot
supposed to go
Tuesday.
to cooperative
I turned
projects
it
for
up.
villages.
I already did.
Do what now?
That's that.
So in the sales tax, there's $800,000 over 5 years that's supposed to be talking about this cooperative project.
Right, it's in there, so it's in,
I'll get this figured out.
right now, it's in villages and we haven't separated it out yet. So there's the 3
Abby,
besides the 140.
Say that again?
you were right.
Okay. Let me get my
Mark
phone
that
out.
on the calendar.
Give me my marker, I'm gonna fix that so I can read it.
Then I was gonna.
Because the 140,000 is,
That's their normal
Right.
annual amount.
right.
And then there's
Well,
3 projects
yeah.
are extra ones that they're cooperative projects that they're talking about doing next year.
We haven't even, we're in the process of making an application for them to submit to do a cooperative project.
Right, but he has set aside those amounts just as a
We
placeholder.
gotta take all of that out or just put question marks in there because people are gonna look at that and say, oh, they're getting this and they're getting that, but we haven't decided anything.
No, I don't, I think this was just to create the placeholder for a project. It is not saying that there is a project or any type of project. It's just creating a placeholder in the budget because we've said we're gonna spend 800. At some point, you gotta start putting that money in there to, even if you don't spend it next year, you
So
gotta
you're putting
start
20% in at a
holding
time.
place for it. Right.
But we could take that out and put that 20% into a different project and then plan to spend 40% next year.
You could.
Or the
yes.
following year,
Yes, you could.
okay?
We just don't wanna get to the point where we gotta spend 800,000 in the last year of the sales tax and not be able to do something else.
We'll not get done what we promised.
Right, right, so,
So it's in there, basically it's earmarked for that
right,
specific.
I'd rather take all those names out and put 125,000 for cooperative villages.
well, and that's what we talked about yesterday, was changing it and creating a separate account and just doing cooperative villages.
How do we pay them? Do we make them come to us each year? Or do we say, okay, you let us know when you get your project done, and then we pay? So they can use it all in the 5th year, but what if they want to use it all in the 1st year? They can't have it.
Right, right.
So,
Well, that's
They
why
have to
we're,
make an application for that part of it.
that's why we're already a year in and they gotta spend it and it's gonna be a reimbursable. They gotta, so once we come up with an application process, then we'll, there's a committee that will rate it and then they'll say we're gonna award it, but one of the requirements is they have to have the funding to pay for the design and then they have to have it and have to have at least their portion of the funding to complete the project. And so, once we say go, then they have a year to get it built.
but that's not the part that they automatically get. That's on the,
The
projects
140
above.
is their automatic amount annually.
20,000 a year.
Right.
yeah.
100,000
So
over the-
if they wait till the 5th year and they take it all at one time, or do they have to get it each year from
They
us for
can
20?
do that.
They can.
But
I
the
mean,
max they can
if-
get in the 1st year is 20. The max the 2nd year they can get is 40, if they didn't get their 20.
Not
Right.
necessarily.
Well, he can do too, like if he knows that Russellville doesn't have anything in the plans for the next
I'm not even
year or
talking about
two.
that. I mean, they've always got something they can use it on, stormwater, overlays, whatever.
They don't
So-
necessarily, yeah,
They get 100,000 over 5 years,
right.
but they can't get 100,000 in the 1st year of the tax cycle.
Right.
The over and above projects, I'm not even just talking about them, so.
Public Works does work with them though, if they have a project that they really need to be done and they need to spend more than their 20,000 in that 1st year,
Right.
they can do that as long as not everybody's
Yeah.
spending their
Right.
full 20,000.
Right.
In that 1st year, so.
So I think they're constantly talking with them to see like, hey, what do you have coming up that you wanna do, or.
Yeah, so under
A lot
certain,
of times they use this for overlay.
as long as we know what's
Yeah.
coming down, we
Yeah.
can say, all right, we can give you, I mean, if we had to in the 1st year, we could give them their full 100,000, but we just have to make sure we weren't planning on spending on something else.
Right.
we would just have 20,000 more the following years
Well,
to
I
spend on
think there's
projects.
probably a little bit of carry forward in the old sales tax.
So there's like 178,000 that's still in the old.
Right, so I think they're supposed to try to use that in that 1 year, or they lose it.
I haven't ever been over to what the clerks use for storage. How big of an area is that? Have you seen
We
it?
gotta go look at it.
It's right across the street. I think I peeked in there one time. It's
I've
just
been
a,
downstairs, it's down a hallway, it's like
I've
2
been
or
in
3
it, but
offices.
I would say
open.
it's probably a room
This size?
like this.
yeah,
Okay. And they have a loading dock?
On the back of the backside of the building,
Okay.
so they can take them down the elevator and load them from the dock.
They've got a loading dock out at the emergency services building too.
Yeah,
so-
I think we need to look at,
That's why I brought that one up, it's just because they would be able to load and unload there fairly easily, but my question was, is the heating and cooling and stuff, since that equipment's sitting there, is it stay at a normal temperature kind of thing?
I'd say it's probably,
We could set
you
it.
could consider it climate controlled. I
So,
don't think
I
it
mean-
gets below freezing or,
Can you lock it?
Yeah, can we
Don't
lock
we
that
have,
door?
yeah.
since Jerry's moved out of an office out there, don't we have an office that's empty? And Jennifer
Use
too?
it as like a
So
conference.
Jennifer's
yeah.
office is currently empty.
Yeah.
Jerry's old office, they have put a conference table in that they do like interviews and things like that in.
Well, if we need to use it for something else, we
now where
can
we
do
have Ralph,
that.
you said Ralph had,
Ralph has offsite storage as well.
yeah, so we need to combine, that's,
But those are all heated and cooled, and climate controlled,
Yes,
so.
most
Yeah.
definitely on that side of the building.
I just brought it up because
didn't- yeah.
it would save us money, and like I said, when he gets a grant
I-
or something,
I don't
then
have
you
a problem
can
with
use it
that.
for.
Makes sense. We've talked about it before.
Canvas or something.
Okay, who pays for the, we get like 8 or 10 News Tribune papers each morning. Who pays for that?
Each office
Each
pays for it.
office.
Okay, do we need them? Why would we need them?
Jill keeps up with the current events as far as what's in there about the county.
Go online.
Well, I don't think all the articles are online, are they?
If we have 7 papers being delivered, I'm betting that we're paying for 7 subscriptions.
Well, we pay
No?
more,
Yes?
we pay for more than 7.
Yeah.
Okay, I just threw this number out. I had no clue how many was there. Get rid of them. We can have 1 subscription. We have 1 sign-on for the county. Anybody can go look at it online. I got a subscription at home. I just like having the real
I heard about
newspaper.
coffee,
So-
yeah.
so, okay,
There's a lot,
you
there's a
know
lot of
what's
things,
in coffee
there's a
here?
lot of things that I keep thinking,
But you know, you give the department.
Countywide, we probably
budget,
spend $6,000 in coffee annually.
All right, start putting a cup out there, a quarter a cup.
well, that or get 1 or 2, you know,
It used to be this was the only one around just because we had public come, but then since in the last probably 5 or 6 years, each department have been kind of doing their own and paying for it out of office supplies. It's no different than the water. It's no
Okay.
different
Yeah.
than the water. I mean, you give elected officials their budget, they decide what they want to spend it on. So I don't know. The only way you could control that, to me, is cut their budget, but.
That's what we're talking about doing.
it's just if you could just
What's
get
the
it,
priority?
if you could get it all from
Here, I can't
international
stop.
blends or
Right.
something like that. or-
Right, if they have money to pay for it, we don't have a way to stop it unless you're gonna say, no, I'm not gonna pay for that.
What are we talking about at this point?
Coffee,
Anything,
water.
coffee, newspaper,
Let's
water.
take one
Water.
thing, let's take one thing at a time. I'd prefer to do it. And
All right.
if they're buying water with it, then we just keep reducing their budget until they decide, well, either have to have lights or water. The coffee part, most anywhere you go supplies coffee. So, I mean, if I was a business, I would have and had an office or, not an office or storefront or whatever. You got coffee at your place?
Damn right.
So.
Well, but for you or for your
Anybody,
patrons?
I make coffee.
Your employees?
I'll have John, yeah, but they don't like my coffee.
Well, no, whether they like it or not, Sam, it don't
Well,
matter.
that's perfect. Then they
Yeah.
don't drink it.
Use
Your
old-
coffee's bad enough. that-
It's strong.
I'll tell you what, you wanna save money, I'll bring in some old socks and we'll use them for filters. So, we won't drink coffee here.
That's kind of what tap water tastes like.
That's why we make coffee out of it. Makes water better.
But, you know, if you could get like water, get it all from Colonel Echo or get it all from Culligan's for, I would assume we would get a reduced rate.
Well, I'm going back to the newspapers. I don't see any reason why we're paying for a
I'm good
newspaper.
with tap.
You catch up on current events. We all have computers. We all got online access. There's nothing you can't keep up on.
Well,
So why
some
are
of
we-
it's to see the ads we're running for bidding and elections and. we
You know how I
want to
get
see-
those? Online. I get them emailed to me. I see it every time.
Well,
Yeah, but
I don't
you
have to
see
have a
it-
hard
You have
copy.
to approve the proof, but you don't approve the proof before it goes in the paper, but you don't really see it in the paper. Now, I've done that before, and the thing didn't end up in the paper.
Have you seen what you can do
I
online?
assumed it did.
You
It
can see
didn't.
the whole newspaper as it is published online.
Oh, okay, well, I didn't think it was the.
The exact thing. You can flip through it in
You have to
pages.
prescribe them.
Well, if you have a regular subscription, don't you get one online?
Yep, so we can have one subscription and everybody can, I would assume everybody can go online.
Version with your page.
With your page,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
I don't get it anymore.
You know, and it's pennies here that we're, talking about.
It adds up. It still adds up.
Right.
That's what we're talking is, it's cutting so we can maybe do a little more raises for. It adds up.
I mean, I think you can nickel and dime, newspaper, water, coffee, whatever. I mean, basically, you just say, we're gonna cut a certain percentage, and you guys figure it out. I mean, you can either have water and have coffee and have pens and have shirts and have all this other stuff, or you can give it to your employees. I mean, what's more important to you?
We'll stick with the shirts, that's cheaper. You want a raise or a shirt?
I mean, I think all those things are nice, but at the end of the day,
I wish they'd quit buying shirts because our employees keep asking for them. How are you keeping yourself from flipping me off?
Do we want to flip back and do something else until Eric gets here?
Sure.
We kinda ended up with like 126.
Yeah, we're at GIS on page 43.
Okay, we got other things. We was talking about grants and stuff a while ago. And I'm not sure if it can be under other duties as assigned, but that's something that Jill can be, doing some research on and try to look up some grants and stuff that we could apply for Pringer Center, Health Department, anything in general. I mean, the HVAC here, that's
I
a
don't know if
big
that's
money
right.
item. If you can look up stuff or try to find some kind of grants to work on that, that's gonna make it more efficient and stuff.
I don't know if that's really illegal.
I mean, I think there's rebates and stuff like that they offer on the type of equipment.
Or we
that
can
you
eliminate
purchase,
the
You get-
position
you
if there's
get
not
grant-
enough to
You get
do.
grant writers. that
Why isn't it
apply
legal?
for- Well, I mean, I don't know.
Filling out forms? That's exactly what legal is. Filling out forms, contracts. I'm just saying, we got stuff we can keep people busy with, and that's something that can help us with it. Grants everywhere. Federal government wants to give us some of our money back, that'd be great.
I think Krista, like the health department, she looks for grants. I would assume over at the sheriff's, they're looking for grants, because I get that, I get those notices when we get them. I don't,
Who's looking for them for us? We got HVAC here, it needs to be replaced.
I don't know if Greg does, I know.
Most of that was focused on energy, so.
I gotta
There you
tell
go.
you,
I
I'm
don't
not a
think
fan of
grants should be
grants. I hate grants. I think grants are the worst thing that government ever did. And I'll tell you why. Because you start a program and, oh, this is a great idea and we're gonna fund this, and all of a sudden the funding goes away and the program stays. And those programs just cost us millions and millions of dollars, statewide, federal-wide, everything. It's a joke. I mean,
It's
we're,
meant to put that political
Well,
pressure.
supposedly when we bring in that employee with the grant, if the money goes away, that employee goes away.
But it's the same thing with equipment. Here, we're gonna help you buy this equipment, you pay half, we'll pay half, but who's gonna maintain the equipment, or pay the service contracts, or pay the?
If they got a way to help counties make ends meet with replacing HVAC here on these old buildings, why not take advantage of it?
I'm with you, we get some benefits out of grants.
Now, if
I
it's a
don't agree that
program-
it's all- But there are ongoing costs sometimes that don't go away.
Not what I'm talking about with this stuff. What Chris is talking about, I agree. With programs and stuff, there's gonna be associated costs with it
Well, even
and continuing costs.
EMS, all that emergency management stuff that.
but
we
it's,
got.
it's just like roads. I mean, we pay our taxes, it goes to the feds, and then they send it back, a portion of it back. I mean, through some type of a grant or whatever. Just let us keep the damn money and we'll figure out the best way to spend it.
If you can get them to do that, we'd be way
That's too
ahead.
easy, Chris, God.
We'd be way ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Cart funding.
Everybody would be.
Blows us
Yeah.
out.
You take away all the red tape and the bureaucracy and you just let them keep the money.
Well, I'm just saying that's something that she
Okay.
could be doing, is looking for stuff like that,
So where are we, 43?
GIS, page 43.
The only thing she did ask for was put that
Meetings.
travel back up to 2,000 instead of 1,500 for the hotels. Travel.
Meetings and
Conference is
travel.
free, but-
We can do that, but she's gonna have to bring back a lot more pens and pads of paper, because we're gonna be trying to cut her office supplies.
And her office supplies, if you look there, this year went up quite a bit. She has the large format printer, and to replace the toner in the large format printer is quite expensive all by itself. We kind of leave her at the 600, and when she needs that large format printer toner, she kind of comes and asks for it, because it's not something that she replaces every year. So that one's kind of one to look at. It looks a little odd because we are projecting it to be like $1,200, but we only gave her 6.
How come our equipment services went up 2,000?
That's that.
We added that,
Yeah.
that
Geo
11,000 thing that we bought this year.
So the software we went half with the city on this year. We now have half the maintenance.
So we paid for half of that and then we get half the maintenance cost too, huh?
From now on.
Forever.
For
And then
a
it
while
keeps
there,
going up.
they had nobody at all in their GIS. It was,
So next is general accounts, which we haven't talked about at all yet. Debbie said she did update insurance and workers' comp. So this one you may want to look at a little closer because we didn't really go through and
Insurance fund has 4.4 million. It was on the cover page.
it's the 1.9 carry forward plus the annual amount that rolls in and out, yes.
Oh, the budget is 4.4.
Right, the budget is 4.4.
Okay.
There's 1.9 is the expected cash flow.
Okay. And so what's the, are we gonna get there? I can wait. Go through general accounts first.
One new thing is soil conservation was the only thing left in 143 besides copper funeral. We moved that into 127 to get rid of the department 143.
Okay.
Copper funeral moved into the public administrator's department.
Because I usually have to sign off on that before.
yeah.
Okay.
And I know Freeman's does that. He'd really like us to increase that a little bit, because was it $250 a funeral? That doesn't come close to covering it.
I
But,
think that's been that way since
I
I
know.
was here, so you're right, it
Yeah.
hasn't changed in a long time.
but I know Bill has never refused to do it, and you can do none, and then all of a sudden we'll get like 3, because I get the notices for those now, and Yeah.
what we're gonna get this year.
Probate expense is another one that's kind of up in the air. It fluctuates from year to year.
Which one, I'm sorry?
I backed it back down to 25, just kind of hoping
Probate.
that it comes
Probate,
out.
okay.
This year so far, we're what, 19?
Yeah.
So 25 is just a guess. Could go up or down depending on activity.
So, what do you got in ED, economic development?
181.
Yeah, what's the breakout of that?
It's the 150 to this chamber. And then the 5,000 for Salute, 1,000 for Taste of Just City, and then 25 miscellaneous.
Okay.
Whatever you guys decide to spend it on.
What we've used to, oh, no, never mind, I was thinking professional services.
We have not yet paid out that cost share agreement, the 47.5. So if that doesn't get paid out before the end of the year, that will also
Carry
go
forward.
in there.
It'll carry forward.
You want to put that in there?
Yeah.
It'll carry forward.
Yeah. So until we pay for that one.
So that's why the budget for last year was 253.6.
Yes, we paid that one, and we also did one for, what was the other one? The airport.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
We did both of those
is that the
this year.
50,000 for that? Okay.
We did both of those this year.
Now, that's the way things are going, we're gonna get that back. It's, there, Mike Keough, I know he goes to Colorado a lot, he said, heck, you can't even get a flight. It's full.
Inexpensive.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I saw an article about the Just City Airport that
Mm-hmm.
trying to,
I got it back last time, but I still think it's stupid.
See what's in that machine out there. But I'll definitely get some.
Start paying me in case I have a bad year.
That's the last time I did it.
something else to bring up since we're talking here is, Carrie from Road and Bridge called yesterday about some postage costs that the parks is incurring because they're sending out some surveys and things that they weren't doing in the past. Instead of reimbursing Road and Bridge for postage, I wondered if we can just add an account to the machine up here and run her postage through general. I mean, it's like $140 a year if they send out a survey. So, just.
I thought they had an account.
I didn't look yesterday. We asked if it could be added, and it can be, I don't know.
That new company has never sent us a bill yet. The one that does the card things. I keep asking.
So what do we pay on the animal shelter?
Yeah, the pickup. Which one, you know?
So we paid for part of that, and then we pay a yearly amount to
And then they
run
still
it.
charge us $100 to bring them.
Oh, yeah.
I think, do we get so many?
Well, we might get so many free.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, because I know we went through that with St. Martin's, and it's like $100, yeah, to bring a pet in.
You may want to look at extension. Theirs did go up a little. I know they came and talked to you all last week or the week before.
Well, they always request so much, and then we decide how much we're gonna
So right
give
now,
them.
their request is in there at the full requested amount.
The 181.
No, theirs is the
107.
142. 181 is economic development.
Oh, okay. Last year we gave them 101,797.
Yes. And I think the reason they came was to tell you about their new program or whatever.
Sure.
That's in their letter here. That's their explanation for the increase.
Got any other questions there?
So miscellaneous still are holding, the money for the payout of Jim LePage's.
Okay.
I don't know at what point or what we do to try to get, we've tried to.
Contact family and.
Right, trying to contact somebody to see, what do y'all need to do? I know that Loggers or Surf was trying to push from their side too, because we've already estimated what our payment to them is.
Take a portion of it. too, with
We'd like to
grants.
get it paid out and out so that that liability's not hanging on us, but we're not really sure at this point what to do. So it's still in there.
What family does he have that,
A lot of families do. They just need to set an estate up, and
I would
have to
ima-
have that name of the estate in order to issue the paper.
I would imagine the estate probably hasn't all been settled yet. If whoever's handling his estate, if,
well, yeah, but they need to get all the money in so that they can settle it once it's,
that's what I
And
mean.
they know, if they haven't forgotten.
So just beware, that's part of the reason why miscellaneous is a little higher than normal.
It's actually down from this year's original budget.
So we're paying $12,000 a year in parking.
And it was like 18, so. It may have to go back, I don't know.
So having that new lot,
That's up to you. We aren't planning on using any of it, but there's sometimes a discrepancy with the billing.
yeah.
Let me see.
We've got, what, probably a dozen of them that are state workers in our lot. We should be able to send the state a bill for what we're having to pay for our people to park somewhere else so that their people can park here, right? You get an invoice together?
You knew what Karen Miller, when I asked her, I said, what do you do for, like, public defenders? And she said, nothing. She said, we provide them with office. And I said, what do you do with them about parking? Nothing. They're on their own.
I'm not talking about them, I'm
I
talking
know,
about
but
the
it's-
judges,
but
their
it's-
clerks.
but that's-
It's in here?
and
That's
what we got
state,
here,
that's
so-
state also.
I know. That's what I'm saying, was send them a bill for the parking then.
4343749.
probably go over just like sending them a bill for prisoners.
Yeah, I'm sure it would.
Prompt pay.
Oh, that's right.
A statute.
Yes, they have paid.
Okay, that one they have.
That one have they paid.
Is that rate set by?
Yeah, how do we do that? Is it based on square footage of public defender rent? Is it so much, is it set rate? Or we?
It's a formula to how many cases they have per county first, and then it's based on how much square footage we allow. But
Because they have that whole third
I know,
floor.
I need to have Greg check to make sure that square footage is still right.
Okay, because yeah, they've really taken the whole thing.
I haven't been. But it's kind of like pulling teeth to get them to pay most times too. But I know public defenders' issues are all over the state right now. So.
Right.
But these are the counties that have to pay based on the number of cases they have. These people.
Anything else with 127?
I just wanted to look at the health insurance fund and go over that a little bit before we get out of there.
Okay.
So the revenue is just from our employees and dependents?
So health insurance, the first line is that. It is the payroll money that we take out every month, or every payroll period, and we move into the health insurance fund.
Okay.
The medical services is the reinsurance. So once someone hits that $75,000 mark and the reinsurance kicks in, they then pay us back for those expenses.
Okay.
So we put the bill at the beginning and then they reimburse us.
Okay.
And then interest earned is just the money sitting at the bank, and cash forward is the amount we're carrying forward.
Okay, so back up to the 2.3 million, that includes the cost for dependents. taken out of people's checks.
It ain't what we're paying for. We give a rate, $610 for the employee.
Uh-huh.
Out of that $610, we pay all the administrative cost. That's gonna be down here.
Right.
So basically, the 2.3 is what the county pays for.
But that includes my
dependent.
paying for the dependent
Yes,
also.
it does.
Okay, that's what I was
Yes.
asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then we're expecting our payments to be 2.3 million?
Yes, that's a guess.
Right.
I mean, based on history, that's the figure
Okay.
we're not
Just
done with
depends.
this year yet.
Because it carries out 15 months, right?
Yeah, doesn't in here. This is a
What?
cash basis.
Well, so that figure there does.
The 16.
The 16 figure is the whole
So
thing.
you backed
carried
out, or put back in.
Right, right, so that one's accrual.
So in 16, it was 2.2 million for the 15 months.
And I don't think it's exactly 15, yeah. I think it's four.
It's whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
you do.
We usually do 60 days.
Okay. So have our losses been more than we've expected? Because I mean that seems like we're getting closer. I mean, we've built some cash, but at the same time, you know, our losses seem to be getting close to our revenues.
Well, so your change in the rates this year is gonna increase that revenue. We haven't really adjusted that figure for that.
Okay.
So you're gonna see a little bit of bump in that number as far as money coming in from payroll because we've upped that amount a little.
Right.
But,
Because I mean, we had some big years where our expenses were a whole lot less than what we brought in.
right.
And that's how we got our cash forward.
So this year, if you look at projected there at the bottom, we're expecting 343,000.
In net revenue.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Now that could change some. I don't think that if you click on activity for insurance, probably has not booked November yet.
Well, but
These are.
your contingency,
So one more.
oh, you got wellness in there, but still your contingency only goes up about 100,000. That was projected for 17.
Well, so
Okay.
your net revenue at the bottom is going with your cash forward. So you
Right.
take cash forward of 1.6 plus the 343.
I
That's
see,
how you
okay.
get to the 1.9.
You're looking at projected 17. I was looking at 18. So. So your 1.6 plus your 300 gets you the 1.990.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good?
Good, yep.
Next is Brian's 128. I think the only thing Brian really asked for was additional meetings, travels, and dues. He really didn't go to a lot of meetings this year, just trying to get his feet wet and see what's going on, so. That may be something to look at.
He talked about the professional services, but he thought he could live with the 19, but it was 23 or something.
His admin fee is based on the Maximus study.
assessors went down, and public works went down.
That's, so we're taking a portion of the administrative fees and putting it back into IS.
So we charge a computer services fee on top of the 3%.
Okay.
So, that's the assessor and public works and EMS in there.
Okay.
And then law enforcement, we back off of their transfer. So they don't pay us back, we just back it on them before we move the money over.
The 3% plus a computer fee, or so are we charging them a computer fee or not? Law enforcement.
Yes.
So is that included in the 3%?
No.
So what's the percent of the computer fee?
It's based on the cost allocation that they come in and do. They take Brian's salary and the CPU usage and all of that and divide it out across all departments.
That maximum stuff.
Okay. So you're basically trying to cover Brian's salary?
Right.
Okay.
With what we can.
Right.
He obviously provides services to other departments as well.
Right.
So it's not just his salary, it would be all of the usage of the servers and
The backups and how.
the phone system, all of that
They take
those
it to-
departments are using.
Okay. So you can only recoup a certain percentage of that cost because certain departments don't pay that, or?
Right. So the people in general fund, I mean, you would be charging yourself to, you know,
Mm-hmm, right.
pay it out of the auditor, but I pay it back to general fund. So
Right.
it's not really money going
Right.
anywhere.
And we have to have that study done for the child support reimbursement part of it too, and the 4D money. But, so years ago, we had them really look into the assessor part of it because we can't charge that fund an admin fee, but we can charge them computer stuff, so. But then the other funds, we've been, as far as long as I know, been charging them for computer services. I'm sorry. Yeah, it just depends where to go here. He went on something big, but he's just going between building most of the time. There's a red. Oh, he went to Branson. What's that?
Internet security office.
It's
Doesn't say
home
where it's
St.
at.
Louis. I don't know what the hell. Can't remember offhand though. Maybe I can look at receipts. I might get go.
So I thought Branson was the Interpol meeting. And then the
Surely he had. Oh, no, he didn't have anything attached to that. I'm sorry, I was looking at these things over. That's just where he went. Why is that still showing?
Because it was, the
Just the
transfer
tape.
wasn't done until after the, yeah. Next is building maintenance. I really think we need to kind of wait and see there. I know that Greg's concerned, but it all depends on when that move to the new health department happens. And I know he thinks it's way more supplies, but as far as number of employees, we're not really changing. So hopefully some of those costs, even though there's more bathrooms to use, you're still gonna be using the same amount of paper towels and toilet paper because it's the same number of people using them, it's just spread across more facilities. So it's kind of a wait and see.
Mhm.
And like I said, we did double the health department's amount in both supplies and repairs.
And then the additional person that you were talking about, we technically have a person in there that hasn't been filled. Where you want that direction to be for Greg versus a maintenance custodial versus a supervisor versus somebody that can do painting, carpeting, construction type person. Probably easier to find than an HVAC type person. So.
Who is our main HVAC person?
The director.
And the company we're using for most of the.
Butcher, on it.
It still is or not.
That's our air.
Air serve,
Kind of went to air serve.
Can you
or
pull
air
up
systems.
and see like what we've paid air serve this year?
It's not air, it's air systems or something.
Yeah.
It's out of Columbia.
So like
Just-
pull up the vendor and pull up activity just to see what we've spent with them this year.
You just want the total, or this is for the whole year?
So
15,000,
15,000.
16,000.
I don't know that.
And some of that could be for parts. you
Right,
know,
right.
So that's hard to just look at that. Have we spent a lot? Probably no, relatively, because this counts the law enforcement center too.
Right.
Yeah, that's just,
And I think that's where they've been concentrating,
Yeah.
unfortunately, our newest building.
yeah, that's terrible. That's,
But I think by the time you do a person with benefits just to be HVAC, I think we're coming out almost better just paying for it as it happens with.
Things that
So maybe the
can't-
direction of that position needs to be.
he says he has some good people now that maybe one of them would step up, just take call, be on call on weekends, but that's not necessarily, seems like a lot of those calls are like, the inmates will
Do stuff.
muck around with the bathrooms and,
But we do have the 34 in there, so maybe it's somebody with a little more construction background that can still help clean the health department if we need to, but that's their main focus is to do more painting or.
Projects.
Yep.
Okay, so.
Planning is next. I think their only request was $400 in vehicle and equipment. They're under that enrollment, I think. They think something big. So they spent 45 and I gave them 5,500.
Most of it's fuel.
So just take the gamble there if they can live within that. Or change it to 59.
Some of these numbers just don't jive, like office supplies, I think is 353 and projected activity is 72.
So we updated the activity before we ran the book.
I see.
And we projected at the beginning.
Okay.
So
We
when
pay that quarterly.
Yeah, so we would have done our projections prior to.
Prior to the update, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So we tried to go through and update what we could,
Okay.
some we may have missed. So then we get to public administrator. If you were to click on his salary. I know he asked for a deputy. There is originally what he requested.
Does that salary line include his salary too?
Yes. And you're seeing that projected activity being way less this year than what's in there for next year because he had that full-time position open until probably September.
How many FTEs does he have over there?
There's 3 and then him. And you'll see too that we backed his part-time down to 1 part-time and 1 like 10-hour week. So 1,000-hour position and 325 hours a year. And he also asked for meetings and travel and mileage both being increased by 500.
I know his mileage, even Maryland, always talked about the mileage. They've got clients all over the state. And I think Maryland said the only place they wouldn't put them down around Joplin. That's just way too far. So, but we're going all the way down.
He's going to
Cape
Cape.
Girardeau, you're going
Cape's
to St.
Joplin's no
Louis.
further than Cape.
I know, but I'm going by what Maryland had said. They just cut out the southwestern part.
So October's been paid for, so there's about 2 months.
Yeah, I've never understood all that either, why we're taking care of other people from other counties.
Well, we're not, we're finding, that's where you find guys.
Absolutely, we are.
That's where you find.
They can request whoever to take care of them.
So, I mean, that was about what Maryland was
I
averaging.
mean, is there
It was
just
about
not the
400.
beds here locally
No.
to put our people in?
No.
Well, and sometimes I think it's specialized facilities, so who has a bed at a particular time that they need it for their particular problem.
He has
So
local,
they only allow
he has
so
some
many
local,
beds
but.
for different times, especially if they're Medicare and Medicaid.
Well, right, but as beds become available, are we requesting to get those people back in our county?
I don't know, I would assume so, but I don't know.
Sure make it a lot easier to take care of them and
Right,
watch them.
Yeah. And
Or do we contact other counties and say, hey, can't we swap?
And that, I don't know, that would be a judge thing, because then they'd have to transfer guardianship to somebody else, and I don't know how all that works.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about,
Like,
say
you have a
I got
bed
one in
and-
Miller and Miller's got one in Cole. It'd be a whole lot easier to just say, hey,
I think. And that revenue is probably a little bit of a concern, but maybe that's just because of being new here.
It's a large concern.
Because right now, we're only at 70 of the 90 we budgeted. And still got 90 budgeted. for
So what's
next year.
going on with that?
I think you probably need to back that revenue number down to 70 for next year. Yeah.
So what's going on with it?
They said they are behind with their billing, so I'm guessing it could pick back up, but there's some clients that don't have any money to recoup, so.
Why are they behind on it? Behind paying or behind being billed?
I think a little bit of both. Well, they pay themselves, so he determines his fees, they get approved by the judge, and then that person's account pays the county the fees.
Okay, so behind being billed or behind being paid?
Again, I think a little bit of both. I think, one, the court really processes a month at a time, so they'll hold cases for a month before they flow through. I mean, I don't know that they're holding them, but they seem to all process at the same time. I don't know if he has a specific law day or something, but all of his cases move the same day.
Okay, but if
But
they're...
I think that his office is also behind in determining what those fees are.
Okay, that's the problem right there then, because the 30 days behind is not a big deal. Because it's gonna even out over the cycle of a year.
It looks like we really didn't receive much in January or February of this year. So I think it's just the changeover, I don't know, of a new public administrator. And
I think Marilyn had done it for so long, she was on the ball, and I think there
So
is a
we didn't-
learning.
We didn't bill anything in January or February, or we just?
Receiving money is all I'm seeing here.
Mhm.
That there was only 2 in January, daily receipts, and then we had nothing in February, and just those 2 in January. So to me, they're definitely
So they could.
a late start.
Well, and they could even, I mean, it could be that they're 2 months behind in.
Next year.
Yeah, so it could be that they're literally 2 months behind in determining those fees.
And since he's asking you guys for another full-timer.
I think
Or
from-
taking the 2 part-timers and making it a full-time.
I think from looking at the review of the other public administrators, that I don't know that another person is feasible for the amount of cases that we have.
I'm a no to adding anybody anywhere at this point.
And I agree with Christian, compared to these stats that were found, it should be all based on the number of cases to FTs. I mean, I'm sure some cases have more intensive manpower needed than other cases would, but that would be the same in any other county. What kind of,
Does each client get billed just based on the services, or?
by the number of hours they worked, I would assume.
And it's also based on the amount of money that they have. I mean, he has some clients that literally have $5 to their name.
Right.
So, you know, even though we're providing the same service to them, they don't have any money to give us.
Right.
So,
Well, I guess what I'm asking is that if he's overseeing somebody in a home or whatnot, is that grounds for charging them a fee, even though maybe he didn't spend any time with them, or?
I'm not exactly sure on the,
Or does he have to actually
I
make
know
make
He has
a visit?
to, he has to see him once a year?
and I know that his costs have to be approved by the judge. I think that there's a set guideline of what he can charge them and not charge them. I don't have that.
Okay.
Even you can see the disparity among the number of cases from that list that.
Well, and
versus
they're
the
all,
money
if
received.
you click on there, they're all receipted separately. So you
Yes.
can see the fluctuation in what we get from one client, maybe $20, to where we get 2,000 from another. So it's case by case.
Okay.
One thing to bring up there, though, is I know in the past that Marilyn always asked for the probate costs that we had paid out of 127 and tried to recoup anyone that became one of her clients. I don't know if Joe's asked you for that.
Well, Connie has a couple times this year. but
Okay,
I'll give it
okay.
to her again.
Yeah, just to make sure that they're doing that part of it.
And there may be 1 or 2 that they can recoup a little bit of. So, she's not taking it on.
Health department.
She mentioned it.
So immunizations, we kept at where it was. We probably, if they're gonna bill, there's probably gonna be some.
She said
Revenue to
35.
offset it?
So we did increase immunization donations from 40 to 42, but that was based on this year's projected activity. That wasn't any increase in maybe the amount that we could collect. So I don't know if you increase one, you probably could increase the other. I don't know if it's gonna be exactly.
14.6 now, what did we say about that?
What are you looking at?
Oh, immunization spend. Only at 14,600.
Is that what it is right now?
What's that?
Where are we at now? Health department?
Yeah.
Okay. I was looking at some
So
of the
we
numbers
did
and stuff.
increase it 5, so we went from, this year's was 25, we increased it to 30, she's asking it to go to 35.
Which one are we on? I'm sorry.
Immunization on the expense side.
She's asking,
We spent 19 last year, and we're at 14.6 this year.
This is a big time of year for them, though, flu vaccine. So I don't know if some of them have not come through yet, I don't know.
Thought we would have had that way ahead of time. The big one, you know. I don't know.
you backed her down to 30.
I did, I took it from 25 to 30, she's asking it to be 35.
Right.
Okay, so what happens if we leave it at 25? We
What's
run
that?
out of money in it and people still come in wanting an immunization. You turn them away? Or do we still have to provide something? What's,
Well, this is.
What's at 30 right now?
Well-
Kristen gave her 30.
yeah, but 17 was 25. I'm
Right.
good with going back to what we had last year for everybody and just
Well,
work a
so
raise
the-
in there.
The change here, though, is the billing person that you added. She's now going to be doing more vaccines that they're
Collection.
personally going to pay for, so we have to pay for them up front. Whereas the Vaxcare right now is doing a lot of our immunizations, so like flu vax, and we're not paying for the actual vaccine itself. So that's the change. There is a change. It's just how much is that going to create? I don't know.
How much is that gonna create in additional revenue then?
Right. I
It
think
went up.
right now,
42.
it only went up 2,000.
I was gonna
So
say, it went
there-
up 2,000.
It could be more, that's just, like, we only based it on what their actual was this year. So right now, that's 51. So I think that that one definitely could go up the 5 to offset the 5 in expense.
Now it's 51?
Currently. So my projection was
Okay,
prior to.
I just couldn't see in that, the green and.
So you projected 41 and it's at 51?
Yep.
They're hard to see
But
in
see,
the
my
colors.
projections
It's a long
before
ways off.
November when you get into the big.
Can see it now?
So I think you could offset that 5 increase with 5 in revenue.
So we could take her revenue to what it
47.
is gonna project out, well, it's at 51.
It's at 51, so
Currently.
I think you could almost pop it up to 50 for sure.
And then raise the
Then
other one
add the-
8,000?
Raise the other one to 5 that
5.
she asked for.
Okay. 30.
35.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you. So leave it at 30.
No, it's just,
No.
they said raise it to 35.
Yeah,
so-
raise it to
So raise it
35.
to 35, but we picked up more than that in revenue.
So we're raising it 10. Because they had 25 and
Just
17.
talking
No.
about last year's
Oh,
numbers.
Oh, yes. Over last year,
Yeah, I think we're talking about different numbers, comparing different ones. You're comparing what she requested, what you had, and so we're gonna put 35 in there.
Yes, unless I hear you different.
And you had 30 in there, but then to offset that, we're gonna increase the revenue
Right.
Yes,
to 50.
yes.
50.
Which she's already almost at 52.
Yeah,
So,
so
you wanna go
that,
to
it should be,
52?
it's a conservative, good conservative number, but if we want to. When did, I guess when will we start making more on those? Has it been about the same every month, or did we?
Well,
I think
so
because of the billing is.
the billing
picked up.
person just started, so I don't know when you'll actually see that kick in. where
So we
we're
haven't
charging
even
insurance. We
seen the
haven't
bump
done
yet.
so-
So it could be even better.
Yes, it could be better.
Oh, some of that's our insurance paying it?
Well,
From
It's
the
so is-
dates that got their bookshelf.
Is that going through the TPA then?
mean, we can talk to them next year about not billing.
If it's a county employee, just to bill us directly, can we do that?
I would think so.
Just a flat fee? What is it? Is the third part, TPA, sorry.
Third party,
Third
yeah.
party administrator, what,
It's
do
all
they
the
take a
same.
percentage or?
It's a flat fixed cost,
Okay,
you know, so it's already figured in, but.
right.
I mean, it maybe helps the employee to get to their deductible or, I mean, but we don't charge. No, that's not part of it, is it? When you get vaccinations, you don't have to pay your deductibles or anything. It
yeah,
just goes
'cause-
to your out of pocket. Because I don't.
You don't pay anything.
No.
It's covered, because it's considered preventative.
Yeah.
So
You know,
it's
you're
under
going
that,
in to
yeah.
get a vaccine or a.
So
flu
it
jab.
goes towards that.
It's a preventative care, so you don't, personally not charged
I mean,
anything.
it's not that much.
So flu shot, did that get charged to my insurance?
Yes.
So no,
But what the difference is between the cost of the actual vaccine and what the insurance paid, they're probably seeing a discount. So if you pay directly to the health department for the vaccine, you may pay more because the insurance company probably has some sort of discounted rate that they pay for vaccines.
got me all confused now.
Good.
So I go to the health department, I get a vaccine, and I pay or I don't pay?
You don't pay, but you give them your insurance.
Right, so the insurance then is paying, we're paying the insurance company, they bill us and we pay the insurance company?
It's included in our coverage. It's not any more that you're paying for that vaccine.
Right, but Debbie's getting a bill from the third-party administrator and she's paying it.
It's based on the number of employees we have. It's a fixed cost.
No, I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about that, you know, we're paying X amount to them, but then they
So
send,
whatever
they
the
send
bill-
you a bill.
The bill from VaxCare, whatever it would be, that would probably be who's billing the insurance company.
I don't know if it's coming from the health department directly or from the.
No, it's probably coming from VaxCare, because right now, we're not personally billing.
Yeah, so it
insurance
goes on
company.
our experience and goes out of the fund, yes.
You're paying it out of the health insurance fund, the actual expenses.
But what I'm saying is that if UMR has something with VaxCare for a discount.
Right, and they do.
They're probably paying a discounted rate to where if we paid the health department directly for the cost of the vaccine, we could pay more than what we're paying through the insurance company.
Does it affect our rates then
I
if
don't
we're
think
claiming?
that
it?
would.
Is that where you was going with that, Chris?
Well, it's just, it's stupid that we go to the health department, we get a vaccine, and then it goes through all this stuff, and it comes back to us, and we pay again. I mean, so, you know, the cost of the vaccine is the cost of the vaccine. I'm sure we're buying it in bulk. So what you're talking about is a discounted rate. Well, that applies to a lot of things, but it doesn't apply to the cost of the vaccine. I mean, the cost of our person to give us a shot, we already got that cost.
But, so currently, right now, though, the health department's not paying for that vaccine. We're going through VaxCare, we're getting a fee from VaxCare for each immunization, and they're fronting the cost of the immunization. You get what I'm saying?
So they're paying for the vaccines,
Yes, there's,
or we're paying for them?
I don't think.
Comes
we're-
out of our premium, right? I mean, it doesn't really affect our rate if
To
we
get
have.
around us billing, there's something with VaxCare, how that exactly works,
Yeah, we need to talk to Christie about that.
Right.
And, I understand what you're saying, and maybe we'll talk to her about that, especially for the ones that you guys offer for the employees.
Mhm.
How exactly that's
Because would it be
working.
better just to
Because I
put
know
money
there
in
was
the
some
budget for the,
That's what I was getting at, yeah.
rather than billing, saying, go get a shot?
They could come get
Right.
But is that gonna affect what we
So
get
if
to collect
that
for
is
administering
happening,
the
though,
shot?
Are you paying that direct cost to the health department out of the health insurance fund?
Yes, I would want.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's all I was getting at, is that, I mean, obviously, if there's an expense at the health department, we just send us a direct bill and we'll pay for this vaccine.
We'll look into that if that's the cost
I mean,
savings
that would
or
only be for
the
county
discount.
employees, but,
So when I came here and gave shots here for
yeah.
flu, and when I went out to,
Hey,
where'd they do public works?
we did 20 vaccines and they're $10 a piece, give us $200.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they're saying it's only 10% effective, so we're only gonna pay 10%.
There's really not much else in the health department. There'll be some of them updated because of the grants and stuff like that.
She was wanting that nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there again, that's gonna be probably not next year's budget.
I think it's
I
a
think
conversation to have next year. I
there's
think let's get moved and get people settled, but that's just.
There's some options we can look at too.
I guess I would like to see the difference between, could we contract with like Capital Region or somewhere and make our health department building a
Urgent care.
urgent care or something, and them, because I'm thinking that the medical malpractice issue and the liability and then those.
Insurance, just the insurance on a nurse
I think it gets
practitioner or a doctor is.
Great.
And it's not under our umbrella.
Community Health Center actually has a contract with Cap Region. So I don't know how that,
And that just
I
plays
don't know
into
how
their
that goes.
business too.
The only thing I thought would be neat if we had a nurse practitioner for our employees to go utilize that. It could save
Well,
us.
so then you get back to the same question,
Yeah.
if you're still gonna build an
Yeah.
insurance, it's not any
Yeah.
different than going to a nurse practitioner
Yeah.
somewhere else. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
well,
not gonna
I wasn't
save
gonna
them.
bill the insurance, I was gonna, I wasn't even gonna issue a bill. I was gonna pay for the nurse practitioner out of the health insurance fund and just say, or a portion of it, whatever the revenue generated by her did cover of her seeing patients, that could be chipped in by the health insurance fund. And people could just go and, because it's basically an office visit that you're talking about.
Right.
It's kind of like Teladoc. So every time we use Teladoc, it's what, $45?
It costs the employee that.
Right. $65?
I thought it was 20.
Oh, maybe it's 45 on the HSA.
I was gonna say,
It's
I thought
different
it
on the
was 20.
HSA. What, don't you have the HSA?
No.
Oh.
I have the kids on my.
But anyway, or whatever. There's lots of ways you can do that, but you go to urgent care, you're paying $20 or $50 or whatever it is. So make it affordable and you go in and there's $20 and.
The problem you get is the malpractice insurance. The
Right.
insurance that a physician has to carry is, it's going to add a lot to, it's going to probably be as much as the salary.
Yeah, it's 20 on the traditional, 45 on the HSA.
Does CAP have something at Hy-Vee though too, or?
Yeah, and that's one of our clinics. So they're basically, it's our nurse practitioner, it's our nurses.
So I didn't know if that maybe was an option with
Sure.
JCFG or.
I think we need to look,
St. Mary's
we
or
just need to look at it, but
Capital
that might be something for 2019. That's, I think that,
It's fine.
And that's it, or other than if you see a vehicle that's. Next is circuit clerk. Her big concern was 2 part-time employees to help finish their scanning or.
The attic.
The current employee that we did have was supposed to have ended 2 or 3 years ago.
When did it start? I don't know when it started.
We were
It was
supposed
a-
to stop having them, or they're supposed to be done
It
with
was supposed to
everything?
be like a 1 or 2 year project that has not, has become a continuing.
Was that the whole microfilming deal? Yeah. And the scanning of records and,
and see, Ralph wants something like that too, didn't he?
He has a
Or
part-time.
he hasn't,
before
does that.
Just hasn't really-
Let's-
He just
let's
hasn't
let-
filled it.
Let's let that person do both.
So obviously they bring in quite a bit of revenue versus their expense.
So theirs is a little skewed.
Okay.
That's all the revenue for the courts.
Okay.
But they also have the court services fund on the next page. So
Okay.
really, you need to take those two together in expenses for that revenue.
Okay, so then they're upside down.
So, I mean, it looks good in the circuit clerks because all of the revenue's going through her other than the jury reimbursement. But really, all of the costs there are the court's costs.
If you really want it, you could add the bailiffs in there too. That's 155.
Right, because they don't generate revenue either.
Right. How do they decide what goes into circuit clerk and what?
So
Is
circuit
that circuit
clerk
court is Julie?
Right, so Julie, the judges, the court reporters, and,
Drug court.
right.
Mhm.
But employee-wise, it's judges, their clerks, I think. court
They want
reporters
training.
and stuff, so.
What kind of insurance do we pay for the circuit court?
It's the judges, they have an insurance policy,
For what?
Liability.
liability.
Why, they're state employees. Why doesn't the state pay for that? Cancel it.
Well,
I can.
We also run into the fact where if they travel, they submit their travel to the state, and whatever the state doesn't cover, they submit to us.
Yeah, 'cause we had that with, was it Dan Green?
So I don't know where the line is as far as what we're required to provide and what we're not.
I don't know, cut it all out. Meeting travels due, 0. Mileage, 0.
So they do have a statute
Insurance, 0.
that they can fight us on cutting their budget or changing their budget.
Changing it, what they submit.
It's in the front of the book.
They wrote the statute.
Page 6.
Without change.
I didn't get
Christmas presents. Foundation meetings.
So did Judge Joyce meet with you prior to August 15th?
She chose not to.
And so,
Oh, yes, she did, with Donnell, but only about Donnell's budget.
well, that doesn't say what this says.
What was that
Says
one day
the
that Donnell?
presiding judge of the circuit court or his designee is required to meet with the county commissioners and the
Right.
budget officer no later than
Right.
August 15th.
But
And,
even if she didn't do it this year, any cut, she'll be sure to do it next year and be sure to increase that. That's just my take on it. If we push that button, they will push back. That's, I mean,
And really, court services did not ask for any increases. Their budget stayed, I think, exactly, other than I changed their communications to actual.
Yeah, but their grant revenue fell off.
It did, but the grant went away completely, so there's no grant expenses either.
I don't know how they're funding that.
He has a drug court account. I think they received funding from us. So both
Well, that-
sides of that grant went away.
So, and this is all fine, but I mean, their fees are terrible. They're not bringing in any fees. $193?
That's what I asked Julie about when she was here. They're working on it. So that should be coming. Whether it comes before the end of the year or if it comes double next year, it should be coming.
And you did reduce most of them, except for the one.
Well, he's talking about jury script.
I'm talking about revenues.
The fees. No, the civil
Right.
fees,
Right.
But the
Fees.
jury script is in 153.
Right.
They are working on billing that and it will be coming. It just may not be in this fiscal year.
What about the
I think Julie was new enough that she missed getting it filed and now they're trying to go back and get it done. But she knows going forward to do it. But the question to her when she was here is, are we still gonna get it? And she said yes.
What about the 151?
My numbers did not match hers.
Because, yeah, we were like 55,000, we went down to 52. We
Well-
were at 30, we went down to 23.
So if you look at actual activity there,
I know.
my numbers did not match the report she bring, but was it 16 numbers?
Yes, she was looking at last year.
She was looking at the total, so.
So her fees are down as far as what we've received so far.
So between circuit, probate, recorder, when the revenue goes down, something's gotta go. Hence, another percent from salary.
So, I mean, when you look at them in comparison, I mean, you've increased Donnell's and minutely in some of those areas.
Again, communications we do as a whole because it's our local phone bill. So that one's more, if our phone bill countywide went up, their portion of it goes up. I think the other one, meetings, travels, and dues, she asked for the $500. I didn't cut it out. Her office supplies, you're looking at amended, her original budget was 13. She dropped it to 11.
I mean, in general, I wouldn't have a problem with most of those, but I mean, really, I don't think we should be paying for the insurance for the judges or their travel. I mean, and that's a huge number versus everything else, so.
So I think that's a discussion you need to have with them though before you just cut it out.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Judge Joyce about it. I mean, that's something the state should be paying. I mean, they're,
There was always.
I would think if
had
they
immunity from anything being sued.
state would pay, they'd be paying, I don't know.
They should have immunity, I would think.
You got some help with that or you want to skip back to the back and do there?
yeah, we can do Eric's.
Yeah.
Basically, he just needs to tell you where your
805.
numbers are
Are
off.
you
or-
okay with 803?
I think at the moment, let's look at 805. So Eric, I went in yesterday and updated the cash to actual and put in all the open POs. I knew there were a couple that were gonna go away for like overlays and stuff. I backed those out, but I'm 237,000 in the hole. So am I missing something or is there a project I should have taken out and I didn't? So I think Chris had a question about bridge construction.
Yeah,
So click on that one, Debbie. That was supposed to be 200,000 for miscellaneous stormwater, right? Okay.
what project was that?
Nothing
Specific?
set for now. South Brooks, we did the engineering agreement on that a few months ago. That could
Okay.
be one of them. And then
Okay.
there's other things that pop up.
Just miscellaneous.
throughout the year.
Okay.
And that bridge removal, maybe we end up doing that next year. We'll have to agree with it.
And I am not sure on Crossroads Southtown Rustic Oaks. I put that in there for the PO amount. I think that maybe you had.
We had.
Did you have some additional money in there just kind of as a buffer for
No.
other?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
It was 12,355, I think is the number. And that was for supplemental agreement number 2 that we'll bring for approval next week.
Oh, that's what I don't have in there, because I didn't have it yet.
Under here?
Yep. So you probably-
12,355.
So you need to add supplemental agreement. Or SA1, right? And then 12,355. I thought I was missing.
Oh, is it just 12,000?
Yeah.
Come on, we're used to big
That's-
numbers here.
Yeah, that's, boy, they were in good shape.
The rest of it under construction or what?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Does anybody know how much?
It's 1965244.
19862.
No, yeah. You're right.
44. I changed that a little bit. Oh, we added, is that what you wanted
Yes,
to do?
we added, because I knew my number didn't match what you had in there before.
No, we're going the
So
wrong way
then
now.
Meadowbrook is the same way. My number there is a little less. Is that one wrong?
Sorry.
Yeah, I thought Crossroads was in there for over 2.
It was.
Can I do anything here, or that won't give me the POs or anything out there? Does that help you?
So you may need to check on that one, but I think.
Some variation there.
Yeah.
It might be something.
And is Meadowbrook less than what we thought originally?
No.
We had 1.6 and now it's 1.2.
And yeah, what we did is to make up the difference to help this budget, we took the extra out of 803.
Okay. I need to make sure I have that in 803.
Can we go?
Yeah, go back to 803.
Sure, I was close out.
Oh, man.
What was it?
So Meadowbrook. Yeah, that 25 there.
Zero it out.
No, I think he needs that
Yeah,
then,
that
plus
should
the
be
other.
was it more than that?
I had 44.
But you've paid 80 of the 106.
That's just remaining engineering.
Right.
So we would carry that. So add to that 25 number, the difference of 16, or 1.6 million, and what you had in there, 1.2.
But then that's gonna throw 803 in the hole.
I think maybe you need to just go back and review all these, can
Probably,
you?
yeah, I wish I would have brought this up.
Sorry, because that's kind of hard for you to do without looking at something. I could put that in there, but it's 1,000,005. Is that what I just heard? Take the six, oh, you want to know what's at
The
805?
1,000,006 minus the 1,000,002, whatever that's in Meadowbrook.
We were coming up with
Let me
a
just
surplus
pull
of
that over and
number
see
3.
what happens.
So whatever that number was, we were, it had to be from 805.
So 805, Meadowbrook.
Well, so she sent me a list of POs to take out of 803.
1.6 million.
The 83 comes out, that's different. Go back to 803. The Stadium Jefferson roundabout's done. So that one can come out completely.
803, which one?
The 83, 347, the cooperative project. That one can be 0. And then scroll down, Charms Villa, is there anything in it? Charms Villa.
Charm and Shear, those will be zero.
Yeah, so Charm and Shear both come out. And then, is there anything left in Randall Drive that you guys can get out? Scroll down, Randall Drive and I
Shit, I just cleared that. Okay, what?
Randall Drive, zero.
Yeah, so that one's out already.
Villages, that's what it was, villages needs to be zero.
It needs to be 0 too.
This? And this is 803, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I probably need to do this back day, just so we know what we're off here.
Wait a minute, something,
I got both of them here,
Yeah, both
Kristen.
of them in there.
oh, okay. I'm like, what's going on?
Well, both of them,
17,000.
you're positive, so.
Yeah.
So,
Let's look at 803 then, so we're all on the same. 803, you're probably up.
Right,
Yeah.
so that 267, 277 needs to go up into Meadowbrook, right? There. Oh, does that contingency stay there? Go down. That comes out too. Okay.
That number is what those are now.
Okay,
What we
so
had.
that 340, 34 needs to go into Meadowbrook instead.
Now, we can do that, but that may still change a little bit because I didn't think the number we had in there for the real smart extension on the revenue side was right.
You need to get that 25 in there too. 25 is the design. So that's construction and then what's the design.
I didn't, oh, I didn't think I had one in there.
2596.
And what'd you say about the revenue?
Go to the,
The rail spurs in 805.
You don't want it in 805?
no, maybe, yeah, it is.
It
Yeah,
is
yeah,
in
sorry.
805.
What was I supposed to do about that metal?
Okay, rail spur extension revenues 279,667.
But I had,
With that email that you sent me?
when the cash forward is different.
That's actual as of yesterday.
This 2341.
Yep. I went in and updated it actual and all the open PMs.
that rail spur extension revenue, that should be 304.
304,000?
But I don't know where that 270 came from.
That cash forward though, I bet doesn't include the revenue they received this morning. What was their portion of the sales tax?
Well, I thought I changed that because you wanted me to get 15% of that.
Go look at what cash is right now though.
Can I open another one?
You gotta go out and open another one. You can, but you gotta go out to the sign on. That's part of the problem, is I don't have the last name of the sale yet.
No, I just want cash, you said?
805, or you want, yeah, you want 700, 105.
that seems, am I got that in there?
Yeah, that's not, I don't think that's the right cash forward.
Well, I just wrote it down.
Oh, because you have to subtract out what the cash is in 803. Subtract the
Oh, you
803
do
cash
have to?
from that. Sorry.
Guys like, woohoo, we're swimming in it.
Nope, not quite. So take the,
I'll put my red Corvette back in.
Dang. 1, 3, 5.
What about me?
no, not that one.
That's my part of the sales
No,
tax.
go into 803 cash forward. You need to subtract from 805 cash amount.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant these were in there. I was like, crap,
No.
I've been using that all along.
No, that would be your,
Yeah, 803.
so that 852,703. Subtract that from the 37. You're gonna get closer, but you're not gonna be there yet.
37, 30426. 28. Got you there.
I got you there, plus 200 some. But you don't have Rainbow Drive in there.
What was the other one that was kind of messed up here?
And Business 50. So it says Rainbow Drive, but it should be Business 50.
Which one was that under?
Scroll down. There should be one that says Rainbow Drive, but I think it's Business 50.
There's one in there.
No, but I think
Which one was it?
that one should be Business 50. The name of it is just.
It says Business 50
Right,
here.
yeah. The outside name we need to change. But I don't think you have Rainbow Drive in there.
No, that was the problem. We also.
You can afford it now.
Is that really right, 286?
Yes.
Rainbow's not gonna be anywhere close to that, it's gonna be 25, 50.
But do you think your rail's first steps right?
I know it's gonna be a little off, but not that much off our half. Quite a bit of work, but we do need to, it should be okay, we can think about having something.
Well, you just need to, you can access this, right? You can still access this, right?
Yeah, so go out and play it. But make sure that, Meadowbrook and Crossroads are right. That's where the are right at the moment. They're close, but I don't think that that's where the
Crossroads
will be.
is definitely a little off, but it's not far off.
Well, what's the 1.6 minus, what was it, 344 that we had left that we closed?
What's the budget number for that?
Minus the ledge. 1.6 million minus what?
Yeah, I think Meadowbrook should be closer to 1.4.
Well, that leaves even more money.
Huh?
That leaves even more money. 700,000.
No, expending.
But you just said, instead of the 1.9?
No, the one below it.
Oh, I'm
Instead of the 1.2, it should be 1.4, 1.0, 1.80.
Not 100%, it will be.
You want to put it in there?
So Eric, the 1.6 minus the 344 that we plugged in 803 should be what Meadowbrook is. So it's closer to 1.4. 1.410, 1.80.
1410.
1.80.
Come up with that, that's not the number we had the other day. You take 1.6 and subtract 344.
That we had in 803.
That we had in 803 that we plugged.
Whatever's left over in 803.
What was left in 803, put in Meadowbrook in 803.
If we have less left over.
I'm not keeping up either.
No,
so.
It's 1,266.
Well, you got three people saying three different numbers. and-
Yeah.
I-
116 minus 344 is 1,266.
126.
56, yeah.
1256.
That number.
We go drink, get some of my medicine if you want.
I might have some of that tonight then already.
More.
Yeah,
Unless that cash forward and that revenue changed a lot from what we had the other day.
Well, we upped
We
the,
updated the income, so that picked you up a little
got
bit.
December's.
And then we just updated cash
Updated, you
forward.
added a month of income, is that what it was, or you just?
we just got the money today,
Yeah.
so we put it
Did we not
at,
have that?
Right,
They estimated.
we
it.
estimated.
we estimated, but
Okay.
it's actual now.
It's higher than what?
Yeah,
you're-
so your sales tax income and your cash forward
I won't gloat
are
yet.
pretty much set.
Bourbon,
I,
I gotta turn that light on.
lunch.
yeah,
Lunch.
Lunch.
I was thinking if I lost, it was gonna be the $140 bottle that they have in a case there at the liquor store.
So you're gonna go back and make sure.
We're gonna be sipping that.
The main one, I need to double check on Brownsburg. And then get Rainbow, get that figured out.
Okay. I feel better now that we're in the black instead of in the red.
What are we doing on Rainbow? That might be 50,000. He's the only person who got it, right?
Right, but nothing's ever easy. The intent was to go to the end of their development. Right. It's not gonna be real easy just to stop right there and tie everything in, so we may just take it to the next road. Which would be more curb and gutter. But we're gonna pay for it. Not set in stone yet, that's just, we get a high number and if we come in less than that, that's.
But we were gonna do the design and the wedging. Is that correct?
Yeah. He was gonna, yeah, so 155 is where we'll come back to after lunch. Okay.
But the wedging will be done with the overlay, so it'll be, it'll be more, right, the overlay.
Basically, all we got is the design and then any extra whatever.
Extra curb and gutter. And then there's an inlet or two.
So what's the deal with the village's amount that was in 803? Wasn't that the amount we had left that they didn't spend over the 5 years?
I don't know what that is.
I thought that's what it
It
was.
shouldn't have been that much. The only one that I know that we were holding off on was St. Martin's. They're wanting to overlay Rainbow. We've been pushing Rainbow.
To get the other
Yeah,
stuff
so
done.
they have some money kind of sitting there to do Rainbow. So we've just been holding theirs, been holding theirs, but it wouldn't be 178. It's gonna be like 20 or something.
Okay, and then you had a question about the village cooperative stuff. Right now you have kind of like a placeholder in there. You wanna leave?
I think it needs to be higher than what
So you go back and figure out
There was
if
one for St. Martin's for 75 and one for Centertown.
we run out of battery.
For us,
Oh,
for 50.
no, they're still gonna
I
run
thought
with
we
it.
would change that, Kristen, on.
Huh? Here.
You can go
Yeah.
under,
did you get your pecans?
villages.
Lots more, that's on my tree.
Eat leftovers today?
Yep.
Eric was supposed to help me with that.
So right now it's that. 140, then you have 75 for the St.
I
Martin.
kind of like to get St. Martin's Centertown still out of there.
Okay.
I don't really want to show that being how much they're getting. They say that, they think.
I think you guys put that in there. I
We did, we did.
Okay.
We did.
So let's change it to.
And we were gonna
you
do
want-
that sub number underneath there.
We are, so we
The
just haven't done it
villages
yet.
Cooperative.
So let's just do this.
All that 400,000.
You want 400? You don't have 400.
And you're gonna get rid of that.
Well, I want to change, it's not gonna let me, just let me do this.
What?
So it's like you had 400.
Looks like I had 400.
Well, no, it's like there was 400 of it. 300 plus 125, 175. Sorry, 175 plus 225 that he had the balance. So we put 400 in there, right? We put
Yeah.
400, and you said he didn't have 400.
Huh? He did. I wasn't accounting for the 175 that he already had in there in my head. I was like, you can't add 400, you'll have 300 and something. That was my,
Okay.
I made a mistake.
Engineers don't make mistakes.
Uh-huh. Okay, so you need to go back and make sure that your numbers are right everywhere else.
Put the Rainbow Drive on it.
Yeah.
Put Rainbow in. Check every other number.
And we'll fix the village's cooperative into a separate line.
And can you guys get that changed so that one doesn't say Rainbow Drive, it says Business 50?
I don't know, we have to pick a different project.
I can do that right now.
Okay. I was going to,
54926. Yes, I want to save my unchanged.
They work you hard today?
You're worn out. We need to move to recess till 1.
If you would.
I move we recess till 1
Second.
PM.
Okay, let's get this.
We're good.
Second?
Thank you.
All in favor?
Sorry,
Aye.
I dragged you in here.